Oops. Oops. What's happening? This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles live. It's that time again. It is Sunday shout out day. Excited about today's show. Good to see everybody around the world. What's up, Ray? What's up, Rap Bones, Larry Kelly? Excited about today's show. Hope you are too. I want to first shout out of the day. I want to shout out everybody in Europe that watches this show and that supports this show. And thank you so much. I appreciate that. What else is going on? I also want to dedicate this show to a friend of ours that passed away that was a lover of New York hardcore. That's Victoria. She passed away the other day. And I want to dedicate this show to her, Victoria DeConnick. And there she goes, lover of New York hardcore. This show's for you, Victoria. Victoria. That said, hey, Ed, what's up? Yo, we're excited. Come on now. Ed DeRamio is out here. Yo, him and his wife, Angela, their incredible archive has been getting out there, and we're gonna talk about that on today's show. We're gonna post up some pictures. So I'm real excited you're here, Ed. You know, hey, whoa. Yo, Arnolfo, what's happening? My brother. There you go. Come on now. Arnolfo and his brother Michael, that's Chacho's Tacos. You know that? Let me tell you something about Chacho's Tacos in this show. Come on now. One of the great sponsors of this show. Chacho's Tacos, located in Corpus Christi, Texas, opened the doors in 2001. Home of the almighty Chacho's Taco. They cook up an incredible home-style Tex-Mex food, and this month they're celebrating their 20th anniversary. Isn't it? Hey, Arnolfo, isn't it like the 21st anniversary now? You've been a sponsor for about a year. They've been supporting underground music since the beginning, and in their own words, we ain't stopping anytime soon. Touring bands that play Corpus Christi, swing by and get a home-cooked meal at Chacho's Tacos. We got you. The underground scene will never die. Please follow us on Facebook or on Instagram. That's right. So big shout out for all my friends in Corpus Christi, Texas. And yes, yo, Lucas in Poland, free Ukraine. Drama. You know what we try to do with this show here? This is the reprieve that you get from the politics, from the vax stuff, and all the other noise out there in the world. We come here and we talk a little bit of music. But yes, free Ukraine. Yep, absolutely. Europe in the house. Yeah, let's hope we'll survive next week. You know? No kidding, huh? Hello from Greece. What's up, Georgia? Where in Greece are you? Are you in Athens? You know? What's going on in Athens? What's going on with this dude? What's up?
Speaking of Europeans, I literally just stepped back on American soil.
Are you at the airport?
No, I just got to Jamaica. I just got off the air train.
You travel by yourself, bro? What are you, a friggin' vagabond? You travel by yourself?
I roam the street. I roam to Rome.
Roam where you want to. Roam around the world.
Oh, but I did just get back, and Italy was amazing. It really was incredible, and Florence and Rome and the Vatican City, and it was amazing. So I'm just happy to be back here, and I got here just in time to say hello. I didn't think I was going to make the show today.
Hello.
So hello.
Hey, you sent me a picture. I see you in this picture.
Yes, it's pretty awesome, actually.
Here you go. Boom. Right now, there you are. There you are. Now, what's this watermark on this thing?
This is actually straight off the Vatican's website.
The Vatican website.
Yeah.
So this is sort of like when you go on a roller coaster ride and like you come off the ride and there's my picture. Is this Do they literally sell these pictures on the Vatican website?
It's funny because we went to this ticketed like mass he gave, and there were these cards on the seats with the website, and as after the mass, he walks up the middle aisle, and basically the equivalent of like high-fiving everybody, and
like he's getting on the court, he's getting in the game,
right, like he's gonna go wrestle somebody, right. And the cool thing is, I took some pictures, but then he, I said to my brother, like let's look at that thing, see if we could find us.
Wait, because I got one of your pictures. Wait,
look at the watermark on that. That's my my two nephews are in that picture.
You took this one?
Yeah, that's one of mine. Yeah, that. In fact,
dude's like, ugh.
Look at the Mr. Serious guy behind him too. That's
that's the guy like from the Godfather.
Oh yeah,
was with Michael Corleone.
Yep.
Right. He's like that dude's like a straight assassin.
Yeah, he's basically like the Vatican bodyguard guy. Like the Pope's guy. And
that dude's
and he was, but he walked by.
Yeah, that's
stopped.
Good. That's funny. Picture of the week: Steve at Ghost. That's funny. Funny, not funny. Funny.
That's
good.
Great, actually. But he stopped right here and he shook my nephew's hand, both nephews, and which is pretty. Especially my mom, lost her mind when they told her, because this is one of the biggest people on the planet.
That's big in your Guinea. That's big in your Guinea family, right?
Oh, you're damn straight it is.
Hey, speak some Italian. You speak any Italian?
Not enough. In fact, my parents regret not teaching us more. So, but
not Luca Brasi, dude. Luca Brasi was no. I'm talking about in Godfather 2, the dude that was rolling with Michael Corleone in Cuba when they killed what's his name? Didn't he kill Meyer Lansky? What is his name? Yes, thank you.
Mo Green.
It's Michael's bodyguard. No, not Neary. Well, Joe Neary, not Neary either.
No, Neary was Michael's bodyguard, wasn't he?
Yeah, but the assassin dude that was with Michael in Cuba.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yo, got to shout out Brett the Bookie, my neighbor who's checking in. What's up, Brett? What's going on, buddy?
You know what's amazing? Speaking of all this, this is the 50th anniversary of the first Godfather movie.
Yo, they just did a whole restoration of it. Hyman Roth. And who was the actor that played Hyman Roth? Don't look. Who was the actor who played Hyman Roth? Ran a very successful acting school. Let's see what these knuckleheads come up with. God, Rome, where you want to.
Yeah, it really was fucking great.
Does nobody know who played Hyman Roth in the friggin' movie? Come on. Got it. Yeah, figures, Brett, my Hebe neighbor and Bookie. What's up, Lee Strasberg? Yeah, there you go. Lee Strasberg. That's right. Roy Ramone, you got it. Lee Strasberg. That's right. Yep. There you go. All right. What else, man?
Not too much. I'm just happy to be home. I'm happy to. I'm getting psyched now for our Bowery Electric show that's coming up soon. And
the Bowery Electric show, isn't it like a month away still?
Yes. But you know me, I'm the guy waiting at the bus stop on Saturday. So
yeah, I do like that about you. Is that
And
hey, let's do the next 4 shows.
Yes, let's do it.
And make sure you fucking guys are on time when we do the show.
Oh no, you believe me.
And make sure you fucking guys hang out and support the other bands also.
Yep.
That shit pisses me off.
Oh, I know. Represent hard.
You know what? I'll tell you something. All you band members that come to shows, a half hour before you play and leave right after, I'm not down with you, man. Support the other bands.
That's right. Believe me, I make a point of that. In fact, speaking of supporting the other bands, while I was in Rome, I brought about a bag full of stickers from a bunch of our friends' bands, and there's Silence Equals Death and Crazy Eddie and a whole bunch of stuff is all over Rome and Italy right now. So,
all right,
I had to.
Did you get any? Yo, Did you get any Silence Equals Death there? Shouting out New Jersey and Scott Earth from Silence Equals Death. Come on now.
Yep.
Yo, I got you. You know what? Here's I'm gonna throw something out there, bro. I gotta say that Silence Equals Death is smoking right now. Man, they played the Barry Electric a couple weeks ago. They seized the day, and they're really fucking happening right now. They are really Silence Equals Death. If you get a chance to see it, yeah. Who's that? Who's?
It's just a guy laying on the floor.
Hey, brother.
I think I'm in someone's living room all of a sudden.
Jesus Moses, man, what's going on?
I only saw one bum in Italy, by the way.
All right, let's do. Hey, Jay Johnson, shouting out Jay Johnson. When is he getting Loggins and Messina back together? Good one, bro. Good one.
Loggins wants too much. He wants too much money.
Yeah. What was that Kenny Loggins song that he did? What was that one?
Footloose?
Footloose.
Well, he also did I'm All Right from Caddyshack.
No, didn't he also do Step into the Danger Zone? Like that crap?
Oh, I think that was him too. I think he probably
was that Messina?
No, that wasn't Messina. I wouldn't do that.
Was it Loggins or Messina?
That was Loggins. Zone? That was from Top Gun, wasn't it?
It was the Pope. Yeah. Highway to the Danger Zone. All right. Yeah, everyone's going off now. Yep. Highway to. Aren't they supposed to do another Top Gun movie? Not that I give up.
Yeah, they showed the trailer and then they wanted to wait till COVID ended and they never put it out.
Bro, they could kiss my black ass before they get me to watch it. I didn't even watch the first Top Gun movie. And fuck that. You kiss my ass, man. All right, hold on. Okay, let's do the next 4 shows together, and then we'll send you back to Long Island, bro.
Been a long time.
Been a long time since I rock and roll. All right, here we go. Here you go. The next 4 shows, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. This Wednesday, Creature from Rebel Maddox on the show. One of my favorite bands, one of the hottest bands out there right now. These guys smush it. Rebel Maddox, absolutely crushed it. A week from today is Jake from the Casualties. And then I'm down in Florida, world premiering my new film. So there won't be a Wednesday show, but then Sunday, March 13th, Dave from Dog Eat Dog, who is a huge horror film and soundtrack guy, will be on the show. And then Wednesday, March 16th, we're doing a Michael Alago show because the film is being re-released. And I think we're going to have, that's right, Chacho's Tacos, that's right. Arnolfo and hopefully his brother are going to be on. They're going to do a guest spot on the Casualties show with Jake. Alago's talking about maybe having Sean from White Zombie on the show. We're also talking to Phil Anselmo about coming on the show. You know, Alago, he's fabulous. So you never know. You never know what he can pull out of the hat.
Hey, right? Maybe he'll bring Mr. Hetfield on. That would be something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one, All right, bro, we'll get home. Don't get mugged in there. Where are you? Are you in?
I'm in Jamaica Station.
Yo, Jamaica Station's hard, yo.
So I got to go run down to catch my train, but I will see you guys Wednesday.
Welcome back to America, bro.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome back to America.
Thanks for keeping an eye on it while I was gone.
Yeah, listen, bro, I do what I can. I'll talk to you later.
I'll see you in a bit.
All right, bye. Well, there you have it. The Hardcore Shutterbug back in America. Go figure. Right? I don't know what's worse these days, right? This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, often imitated, never duplicated. We are sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, The Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, DTFM Vinyl Distro. Come on now. Chacho's Tacos, Generation Records, and our latest 126 Hardcore Clothing. It's a streetwear brand for restless individuals who don't compromise. They are about being positive, spontaneous, and true to yourself. For years, they experimented. They fucking Dr. Frankenstein. They experimented with several printing methods and materials and collaborated with a large number of designers and illustrators, always giving room for fresh perspectives while retaining the hardcore attitude. Get in touch with them. Ramp up your game at www.126clothing.com. We got to get George from 126 on. Interesting company out of Greece, stationed in Germany. We got to get them on. Come on now, DTFM Vinyl Distro. It's a record store that specializes in underground music, punk, ska, hardcore metal, and more. Located in the heart of Fargo, North Dakota's industrial district. Shop in person or online at www.dtfmvinyldistro.com. There you go. Let's clear the deck. Is everything okay? Yes, of course, Susan. I know. Listen, once again, I want to dedicate this show to Victoria that passed away. She had a lot of friends out there. She was a lover of hardcore music and punk music. So, Sally and Susan, there's a GoFundMe to help cover her funeral costs. And I'll try to get that link up. And that said, rest in peace, Victoria. Yeah, let me see. Everybody else okay? Nothing going on? No interlopers in the chat room? No Rick to Lifes or anything in there? Yeah, man. Silence Equals Death smushed it, man. I'm not mad at them at all. I know, Brian, you're good like that, bro. You come early, Brian, you got nowhere else to go, right? You come to my shows and you hang out like you got nowhere to go. There you go. That said, let me clear the deck. Let's bring our guest on. Excited about this, man. Excited about this guest that's coming on. This is here we go. All right. Today's guest is a historian, community activist, and arts enthusiast hailing from the Pilgrim State of Massachusetts. He co-founded Gallery East, an avant-garde art and performance space that was a launching platform for the early Boston hardcore scene. On a personal note, he was the executive producer for the film that I directed, XXX All Ages XXX, the Boston hardcore film. He's one of the most honorable men I have ever worked with in the music and film business, and I am proud to call him a friend. Please welcome, coming at us from Boston, Massachusetts, Mr. Duane Lucia. Hey.
Hey, Drew. Hey, everybody.
What's happening, buddy?
Not too much.
How's things? How's the zombie apocalypse over there in Boston?
There's, people are waking up. slowly but surely.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, let's kind of jump right into it.
Shoot.
We got a lot to cover today. Let's right into the Gallery East thing. The background. How did you come up? How did you get exposed to Gallery East, and how did you get involved with it?
So it's kind of funny because Al Ford was the co-founder of Gallery East, my partner in the space. We were on our way to New York City, and we were actually thinking of moving to New York City. And we found this space that was 5,000 square feet for $600 a month. And it was too good to pass up. So we passed up New York instead and opened the Gallery East.
I have, and go back farther, where did you grow up, and what was your exposure to the arts, and how did Al Ford come into your life?
So I grew up in the Boston area, spent half my life in the suburbs and half my life in the city. And Al Ford was from Boston. He actually grew up in Dorchester, which was, kind of a Jewish enclave at the time. And I had met Al Ford when I was a freshman in college. I started studying martial arts with him.
Oh,
And
that's right. That's
that
right.
was 50 years ago. So we were lifelong friends from the moment I started training with him to the time he passed away. You know, he was a mentor to not only myself, but to many, you know, family members and people who knew him.
Sure.
You know, Al was a progressive thinker, but he was, you know, he's a guy who bought a Vance and leather jacket and put the American flag on the back of it. You know, he was, you know, he second World War II veteran. You know, everything about Al was like, you know, very progressive, but very American.
Yeah. And I have a clip here from let me give a little background on this. This is from, we did a weekly, there was like a daily sort of Jerry Springerish show that we all went to and were participants in 1981. This tape turned up years later. Jamie from Sharappa from SSD Control, who's going to be on the show a little bit later, had the VHS, and he lent it to me, and I transferred it. And we used a clip of it in the film we did, XXX All Ages, XXX, the Boston Hardcore film. And I'm in it, you're in it, you know, everybody's in it. Dave Smalley, and a lot of the it's a real cross section of the early Boston hardcore scene. But there's a clip here, and I queued it up to that, of where Al Ford is speaking about us doing shows in Gallery East. So here we go.
He does that. That's good enough for me. That's all I want to do.
Okay. The gentleman said, Alfred, that older people can't get into this or don't understand it or whatever. Do you agree with that?
Well, I went through the whole routine. I'm a lot older than probably any. Well, I see a couple old faces in here.
Were you a flower child?
I was a bohemian, a beatnik, a hippie. I own an art gallery now, and some of these groups have played in my space. And these kids are, you know, I might not like some of the music they play, but as far as people, I think they're fine. There's no smoking in my place. There's no alcohol. There's no drugs. We've had the police come in, and they walked out smiling.
All right.
So some of these kids are fine.
We're going to have to deal with the...
So, you know, I always, you know, Al Ford looks like Marlon Brando in The Wild One here, bro.
Totally.
Yeah, you know, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I always thought of Al Ford is like a beatnik, like a Kerouac kind of guy. Is that a fair assessment?
I think he preceded Kerouac. You know, definitely. It's funny because Al Ford's karate teacher, George Mattson, was one of the first people to bring karate to America. And he just sent me a book that Al Ford had written.
Wow. And
the book goes through Al's time in the Second World War. You know, he was in the Navy, crossing the equator, and, you know, fighting. And I mean, when you see pictures of him when he was 17 years old, when he enlisted, he looks like a 14-year-old kid. And you grew up pretty fast in that situation. When he came back from the war, he enrolled with the GI Bill in art school. And so, you know, I mean, he was pretty early on, like the late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah. I just want to point out that here in this clip, that's you sitting right next to Al right there, right?
Yeah, my daughter and my ex-wife Gina.
Yeah. Like I said, we were all there that day, including me, right?
Sometimes difficult to get behind the appearance to the person. How about giving us a little help?
Why, though?
Why?
Yeah, why
Bro, 18 years old with fluorescent orange hair, bro.
does it? Why do
suppose
people have
because-
to be...
There you go.
Fluorescent hair, or because...
Can I have that hair back, please?
Yeah, not a chance.
Yeah, can I have my fluorescent orange hair back? But yeah, that was a great clip. It's on YouTube if anybody wants to check it out. The whole show, it's pretty great. So, here's a shot. Now I know that this shot was taken, I think, after you guys vacated the space, but this gives people a pretty good idea of what we're talking about here, right?
Yeah, that's it. Right where the sign says "for lease," that's the gallery.
Yep.
I think when we see the pictures of the stage with the plywood over the windows, so people wouldn't go through the window when they were stage diving or
right,
jamming up against the band.
Now this area of Boston back then was called the Leather District, right?
Yeah, it's still called the Leather District, but it's like back then it was semi-industrial and sort of like, I don't want to say neglected, but not many people were living down there. There were a lot of artists. It was probably like Tribeca back in the early 60s.
Yeah.
60s,
And we'll talk about it in a bit, because I remember a lot of the shows that we did down there, we would just be hanging out in the street, and because it was on off hours, and it was like desolate. There was nothing going on down there when we did like a Saturday or a Sunday show,
Yeah, totally.
So here's what has come to be known as kind of the first hardcore show you did at Gallery East. This doesn't even have any bands on it, but this was SSD Control. I think SSD Control's first show. Tell us about how SSD Control came into your orbit.
So I met Al Baril we used to put on other concerts there, bands, whatever, parties. And one of the first groups that did shows there was a group called Propeller Records. They were the Neats, Wild Stairs. I forget some of the other bands that were a part of that. People in Stores, I think, was another name. And they put on a show one night. They'd get some marquee bands to play, and the show that they put on was the Stains, Mission of Burma, and a couple other bands. I think Wild Stairs was in there, and maybe CCP TV was another one of the bands. They're all local bands. I mean, most people know Mission of Burma, but I think Al Baril came out to see the Stains. They were sort of like kind of like the Freeze, a Proletariat, sort of marginal, hardcore, more, hard punk. And, Al Baril tried to start a thrash pit with some guy that he was with, and we got to talking. And after that, it was like we became friends, and Al set up gigs, and it was like hardcore was, Gallery East was the place where people came to play hardcore, and it was a lot of fun. That was the big word.
Yeah, and this was, I love this flyer. Wait, there's another flyer you said it had blood on it. Remember that one? There's another, I got to, and so here's a shot from, where is, I got, SSD Control. Where is that? Got SSD Control. Their first, let me see. I know I have one of these. Hold on. Oh, here we go. So this is what you're talking about, putting wood up on the windows. But this is, I believe, and we're going to ask Jamie when we bring him on, SSD Control's first show, correct?
That to me looks like the first show, although I wasn't at the first show.
Is that right?
Yeah, I was in California at the time, and we left the gallery to Jack Darling, one of our friends. He ran it for a month, and SSD played a show during that time. It was technically, I believe, their first show. Although Jamie said they had done a party one night. I don't remember that.
Yeah. We'll ask him. He asked in the pre-show, he remembers coming there and playing a few songs a week or two before, right? I want to mention this photograph and a lot of other photographs that I'm going to post and I'll point it out are part of this amazing archive that's been rediscovered or uncovered by the photographer's name is Angelo Orangio and her husband Ed Di Ramio. I hope I'm pronouncing that right because I haven't heard anyone pronounce these names. So Ed Di Ramio, am I right, Ed? I know you're watching, but these incredible photographs have turned up 40 years later, and we're gonna peek at a couple of them on today's show. It was staggering. I was seeing pictures of myself from 40 years ago. Really, really, really mind-blowing, you know? Now, I have all these flyers marked. Now, this seems like the second hardcore Gallery East show, and this would be SSD Control and the Freeze, correct?
Yeah, that was the big one.
Yeah. That's a good one. All right, Ed says, close enough, I've been called worse. Okay, good, Ed. And I hope you got Orangio. Am I pronouncing that right for Angela's name? Angelo Orangio? You know, you Italians, man, you know? All right. So, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. What? I got a picture of this one too, but this is the show that was shut down by the police, right? Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yep. That was shut down by the police.
Yeah. Now
we didn't have a permit. You know, we started getting permits after that. So, you know, there's a lot of funny stories that went along with that one. You know,
here you go. Here's the actual photo of it going down. Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's bring Jamie Sharappa on from SSD Control. Being that he's in this photo, right? Hey, buddy.
Yo.
Yo, listen, bro. I'm looking at this photo. I'm thinking, always the voice of reason. Jamie. Jamie was always like, you know, the voice of reason, the reasonable guy, you know.
Yeah, I tried to you know, calm down any situation that was a little out of hand.
Yeah, no, you were really a good sort of balance. Do you remember what's happening here? Do you remember this day?
You know, I don't exactly remember. You know, it's funny. I'm trying to figure out the order of these shows and these photographs, and really I can only base it on the shirts that people are wearing. I mean,
yeah.
You know, because in that picture that you showed previously, the live one, I'm wearing an Alva shirt, a Tony Alva shirt, and here I'm wearing a Black Flag shirt. So I don't know that it's the same day.
No, it's not. No,
yeah.
the previous picture was technically, the way I know it, as the first SSD Control show that was at Gallery East with the Stains.
Okay.
This here is the second show, which was a month later when you played with the Freeze when the cops came and shut it down. So it's two different shows.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, I'm not sure exactly what's going on here, but you know, I see Al Ford there. That's exactly how I remember him, man.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a guy obviously between me and Al.
Is Al Baroque in handcuffs here?
It looks like it, but no, not at all.
Yeah.
No, as I remember that the cop left and was, you know, he was fine with what was going on. You know, he recognized that we were all, you know, there was no drugs or alcohol or anything like that, which was always the, you know, the big issue. So I don't remember, other than, you know, when some shows ended up, you know, getting a little violent. I don't remember cops having a big problem with any of the Gallery shows.
Right, Duane, I remember cops showing up and they were just like, "Hey, what's going on?" Felt like cops didn't bust our balls, right, Duane?
Not at all. Remember the millions of dead cops was, you know, that was the one where all the cops showed up and they like, you know, it was like, okay. And I remember the girl that managed MDC. She had, I think she was a skinhead, and she like started talking to one of the cops, and he was rubbing her head, and you know, it was just a funny, you know, it's just a funny day.
Well, I know we're skipping around a little. I know we're skipping around a little bit, but yeah, that Millions of Dead Cops show caught their eye. Here's the flyer because and then there was another flyer that was a little risque, but you know, Boston cops weren't too hip to millions of dead cops. And you know what? That's why, you know, I just realized this as I put it up. That's why it's marked off. It's MDC millions of dead. Like it was marked off on the flyer. It was blacked out, you know?
Yeah, but there were plenty of flyers that got around that, you know, it had cops on there.
Yeah, right.
I think even in the newspaper at the time, you guys used to take out ads in the Phoenix.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, one story you mentioned, Duane, was how you and Al met. Al tells me the story that he went to that show and punched a hole in the wall, and you got pissed off, but he said, "I'll come back tomorrow and fix it," and he did. Yeah. And that kind of established a relationship between you two.
Yeah, that's exactly correct.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Al says MDC's manager name was Tammy. How he remembers something like that 40 years later is beyond me. Now I'm sort of going through my timeline here, what I know of the flyers. I have them all labeled, you know, but this seems to be, according to my estimates, the third show, which was a pretty iconic show. Negative Effects, I think it was their first show, maybe. SSD, and of course, Government Issue came up from DC and Double O, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You know, for me, hands down, I think that show was the best thing that ever happened at Gallery East. And there was a lot of really, really good stuff. I mean, you know, art exhibits, photography exhibits, you know, performances, you know, just solid stuff. But that event was like, you know, it was chokes coming out, but it was kind of like, you know, these guys from DC really put on a great show. And it seemed like everybody was just on another level that day.
Yeah, here's one of Angela's photos from that day. And Duane, this has never been seen before, this photo. Duane, there you are up front and center, bro.
Yeah.
That's me over the left, right in front of the white pole. Russell Longo from, well, DYS at one point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're in a pig pile, Jamie, too.
Yeah.
I have a couple of these, but you know, I was thinking, Jamie, what's funny is like I looked at this archive of pictures, and in pretty much every case, even though you or I were playing the show, all the other bands, you see us, you know, in the fucking melee, like, you know, like smashing away before we even would play. You'd be in the pit carrying on, you know.
Yeah. Hey, Duane, who built that stage? No, it's because this is actually, you know, we played the first couple of shows we played in front of the windows, but then there was a stage built.
That was Al Burrell built that thing. You know, he engineered it really well. Like that thing was not going to fall apart when we first started.
Well, wait a second. Here's another shot from that show, and just from what I've noticed, here's another shot. This is Negative Effects playing, right, Jamie? There you are on the right. Yeah. There you are on the right. There's Al. All the way on the left is Jake Phelps. I'm on stage wearing my Smokin' Joe Frazier, which I wish I still have. But I'm standing. That's me with my back in the white shirt. But you know, Duane, if you there was two of these stages. This one sort of had like scaffolding underneath, and then later on was the stage that we did with the cinder blocks. This is the one for that show. It was like this low scaffolding thing.
This might have been another stage that was there because of another show we had. I think somebody might have rented some scaffolding, and then we put the 4x8 plywoods that Al built. And you know, when he built them, they first did. There you go, Jamie, the pig pop.
Rocking the Alva shirt.
Yeah.
Is that Bruce Rhodes on the right there?
Yeah. In the black leather. Yeah.
There's another group of photos, and there's Phil on the left. It seems like every time you see Phil takes a shot, Bruce Rhodes is in the picture. If Bruce Rhodes takes a shot, Phil's in the picture. They were on opposite sides.
And in this particular case, all these shots are Angela Orangio took all these, so she's sort of a little farther back, and she's documenting the thing as a whole. These photos have never been seen before.
That's amazing.
Jamie, there you are on the right.
Yeah.
Duane, you're next to Jamie. There's what's her name in front of Duane, who passed away. Drawing a blank. Who was in Impact Unit with Dickie Barrett.
Yeah, I can't think of her name either.
This is Negative Effects on stage. Yeah, incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible. But yeah, I think. Oh boy, some of these. I'm trying to put these up in the right. I think, Jamie, this is that show or close to it. There's a great one right there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's a good one. Good stuff.
I can't believe she's been sitting on these for all these years, man.
It's incredible, man. It's incredible because, Duane and I, we did the Boston hardcore film, and we did these scanning parties where people would come out and we collected such an incredible amount of photos and flyers to do the film. And, I don't want to say I thought we had everything because we didn't, because Bruce Rhodes didn't really participate. But I mean, Phil and Flash really documented a lot. And, to have these come up, 40 years later. But you know what? I want to show you something. I want to show you something. Didn't pull this beforehand. Misfits. What was it? Cambridge, right?
Yeah.
Misfits, Cambridge. Yeah. Let me find this shot. No, not that. Misfits, Cambridge copy. Here it is. So this is a photo that we used, I think, in the Boston hardcore film. And this is a Misfits photo from when we rented the basement of the Cambridge Congressional Shirt. So everybody kind of knows this picture. It's been around for a minute. There's Paul up front. There's Al with his fist out. I'm behind. I'm to the left of Al in this picture with my shirt off. In the pit, and there's Wade behind. So this picture's been around a minute. So when as a filmmaker and as a musical archaeologist, when I see photos like this, my eye goes to the gal that's on stage with the camera in her hand. And I always wondered, who was that person? And where are those pictures? And it wasn't until I connected with Ed and saw a bunch of these Misfits pictures and saw the angle of them that I sent this to Ed, and I said, yo, is this your wife, Angela? And sure enough, this is Angela. This is the person that took those pictures.
Yeah, I remember her show. Now I didn't know who it was, but now seeing that picture, I remember her shows all the time.
Do you?
Oh yeah, I remember seeing her a lot.
Wow, that's awesome. Here is one of her pictures. This is one of her Misfits pictures that, Jamie, I think you, being a bit of a Misfits historian, this turned up on like an Evil Live thing or something.
Yeah, I think it was the second, like they did a couple of different covers for the Evil Live thing, and this was one of them. Yeah, and that's of course Pat Raftery from Negative Effects singing down on the left side.
Yeah, we loved the Misfits back then. We had so much fun with those guys. So when they came to town, we had so much fun with them, man.
Yeah.
Moving along here. This is an interesting. I have this as show number 4, right? And this is a flyer that I made, and I got some great ephemera on this one here. I made this flyer. It was FU's Gangrene, the band that I was in at the time, the COs, later the Mighty COs, Jerry's Kids, and DYS. And Duane, you know, we were talking about, I guess we talked about this at the time, but I think, Duane, you sent this to me. Now, the date on that is May 29th, 1982, right? And I was going through my archives today, and I'm sure I got this from you. This is the license that we had to go get. And I went to go get this. I remember this, right? Duane, it wasn't a woman. I had to go see some woman.
Did you go with Molly to do that?
I think I did.
Yeah, I remember that.
Me and Dave Smalley. Do you remember her name?
Yeah, Joni Prevost.
Yeah.
She's still around. Joan, her name was Joan Anzalone.
Right.
That was her marriage name, but she was. Jamie, do you remember the time we had to go to a hearing at City Hall?
No, I do not remember that. I don't think I went to that. That's crazy. I'm noticing it's $28 they charged it back then.
Yeah, $25. Yeah,
$25.
Yeah,
25,
and the date matches May 25th, 1982, music concert. You know, $25.
Yeah.
And Kevin White was the mayor, right?
That's
Kevin
awesome.
White. all the Boston guys are like Kevin White. Wasn't Kevin White like the super crooked mayor of Boston?
I don't know about that, but you know, I mean, all the mayors of Boston are crooked. You know, but he was a good friend to the arts. You know, I mean, in a more organic way than there is today. You know, today everything's so like sanitized and organized, and you know, he let all these clubs live, you know, all the dive bars live, all the one-offs, you know, the potential for one-offs at all these church spaces. I got to pay tribute to him for that.
Jay Johnson says mayor of the shitty of Boston. Well, listen, you know, my recollection, being a teenager in Boston at the time, it was a little wild. They had the combat zone, which was like a red light district. They had the waterfront, which was sort of wide open. And, you know, you had Whitey Bulger in Southie, and there was a lot of Boston was a loose city back then, the way I remember it, you know. Here's a shot from that show. Like I said, I never saw this before, and I was just blown away when it came across. This is me singing with the COs. Looks like my arm is in a cast. Not sure why. My hand looks like I broke something. And I'm wearing the Daisy Dukes. I'm on stage rocking the Daisy Dukes.
Doing a Henry Rollins imitation there.
Seriously, man. I was doing it before Henry was, man, you know? But, you know, it's classic.
Great stuff.
Classic stuff there. And here is, you know, I think it's safe to say that this is another one. Another great shot of Angela's. This, of course, being the FUs, you know, doing their thing, you know. Yeah, Al says, I give you credit for showing that photo. Hey, bro, at this point, Al, I'm like, you know, I'm fearless, man, you know. Everybody's chiming in. Yeah, the necklace. Yes, yeah. Get your digs in, everybody. You know, yeah. Get your digs in. But yeah. And here is, let me see. Let's do another one here. And then the show after that was another show, another flyer that I made, which I've seen in a lot of books. I made this flyer as well. It was FU's, COs, and TSOL. And it was the first time TSOL played. It was the first time TSOL played in Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is interesting because the show before it was the weekend before it, Duane. I mean, this seems to be kind of the golden age right here, Duane, because I'm looking at the dates, and it's like that first show with the COs. Then a week later, we played with TSOL. Then a week after that was the Minor Threat show, and then a week after that was the Freezing Gangrene. Week after that was Psycho. Week after, so it seemed like there was a moment there, Duane, where it was pretty much every weekend, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Let me find that. Go ahead.
I know this. I'm just thinking. I mean, back then, really, the gallery in the early days, the Gallery East was the only, non-club, like a bar type club that you could play. I mean, later on, the Media Workshop happened, but
no, I think the Media Workshop happened before this.
No, it happened the same time.
Same time?
But I mean, the Gallery East was the first place that we started playing. And then all of a sudden, the Media Workshop opened up to us.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I seem to remember the Media Workshop closing down like pretty quickly. And I remember they had problems right away. I mean, and then there was like,
I don't think Kevin got permits. And that was
right.
that was the big problem that we ran into in the beginning, was by not having permits. There was, the police would come by on a noise complaint,
right,
and shut you down. But if you had a permit, it was like, the artists that were living there that were trying to shut us down, they were living illegally. So we,
it was like mutually assured destruction.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a photo of TSOL at Gallery East, and I want to take this opportunity to bring on Alec Peters, who brought TSOL to Boston, and he later managed Gangrene, and he was a producer. So let's say hi to Al Peters. What's up, bro?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, man.
How are you, man?
All right.
Thanks for joining us. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with TSOL, because and there's that stage we talked about, right, Al?
The blocks, yeah.
Give us some perspective on bringing TSOL in and that stage.
Oh, the stage. Well, first of all, TSOL came. I knew a guy named Mike Vraney, who was booking all the major hardcore bands from the West Coast out here. He had the Dead Kennedys and Flipper and TSOL, and that's how I got these bands, was through Mike. And he gave them to me first, which was cool. And about that stage, you and I built that stage, Drew, out at my buddy's boatyard in Concord. Those panels were actually pretty damn heavy.
Yeah.
If I recall, that 1/2-inch plywood over 2x4 was not light.
Yeah, I remember that. I also remember being under the stage right before the show, right? And we tried to figure out, Duane, how do we hold the stage? I remember we did a test run, and the whole stage was all over the place. And then we figured out, we got to bolt it together, right?
Yep.
and then
it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
We stopped bolting it together, though, after a while. The stage was, because like Al said, because it was so heavy, it just maintained its position. I mean, even when you get 30 people on there pig piling, the stage was still holding up.
Pig piling. I know.
I want to mention this here. I want to mention this, Alec Peters, and we did mention Media Workshop, and I know Jay Johnson is in the chat room there, but you brought Flipper to Boston for the first time at the Media Workshop. And Jamie, you guys played that, and I remember it got shut down, right?
We ended up not playing that. Yeah, in fact, wasn't this like an afternoon? Oh yeah, it was like a 5 o'clock show, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was
3 o'clock show. Yeah, I wasn't at the show for some reason. I forget why I couldn't make it. But yeah, SSD didn't end up playing that show.
And the Wild Stairs, man.
Yeah, that's Al Barill's favorite band.
The famous story about Flipper was, who was it? Was it Jay Johnson that had the milk crate on his head and was like smashing into people and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Legendary legendary at this point. But yeah, Jay Johnson and I wanted to mention one other thing, Alec. Let me find this. You did I think, and this was even before I got to Boston. You did the Dead Kennedys at my soon-to-be college cafeteria, right?
Yeah, at the Fens Gate Ballroom.
Yeah.
Which here you are, right here. I got it. Here's a shot. This is a fill and flash shot. Not sure if this particular shot's ever been seen before, but this was in the summer of 1981, and you quarterbacked getting the Dead Kennedys, and there you are on the top left, up there on the left.
I had hair, dude.
You had hair, and there straight away against the speaker is our friend Chris Corkum, God rest his soul, who passed away fairly recently. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, how did you get the Dead Kennedys into a college cafeteria?
I partnered with a guy there that was an Emerson student.
Ah.
I had the band, he had the room. And it was awesome. We paid the Dead Kennedys $800.
Wow, that's a lot back then.
Yeah, well, you know, we sold quite a few tickets.
Yeah. Larry Kelly says, insane show, just crazy fun. Me and Johnny Blue Tile got in lots of trouble that day, as always.
Johnny Blue Tile.
Is that right? Is that right? The outlets and the FUs were on that bill?
Yes.
I did not know that. Wow.
By special request by Jello.
Jello requested the outlets?
Yeah, he says there's this teenage punk rock band. I want them.
I didn't even think the FUs were together yet at that point.
I guess they were as a three-piece. Didn't they do a show or two as a three-piece?
I'm not sure if they actually did play. It might have just been two bands.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know.
It seems like a little early for the FUs, but
yeah.
Hey, you know what? Jay Johnson says the FUs were a trio. I do want to say this about the outlets. My memory of the outlets back then was that they were great.
Absolutely. Oh, they were amazing.
Yeah. I mean, and I was a very, very sort of, I had blinders on with the hardcore thing. I was into real straight up hardcore, but the outlets were sort of, there was some cross pollination there, right, Jamie? Like with the, like, you know, sometimes the outlets and some of those bands and,
well, Springer was real close with the Barton brothers. So, you know, we were always friends with those guys. I don't know that we may have played with them. Not if we did, it was once or twice at the most. But they were always great guys, and we loved seeing them play, man. They were just a great band. Yeah,
Jay Johnson says Sox was on bass that night. He met him that night. Maybe they did. Maybe they
it's amazing.
Maybe they played.
Yeah, because the Dead Kennedys played the Channel about a week or two before that. Is that
did they?
Right?
No.
Yeah. Well, here's the first night I met Al was at the Channel for the Dead Kennedy show, and then we exchanged numbers, but I never called him. And then, like a few weeks later, at the Fensgate show, I see him again, and that's when we really put the band together and decided, okay. And I think we got together in like the next day or something, or a couple of days later. Yeah, I'm almost sure that the time frames are always fucked up in my head, but I'm sure of that.
When did they play Spit?
Dead Kennedys?
Yeah.
I don't think they did.
They didn't play Spit. You're mixing them up with Black Flag.
Yeah, Black Flag. That was the first time I saw Black Flag was at Spit.
With Dez singing.
Dead Kennedys played 9 Lansdowne.
Yeah, originally, Alec Peters and our good friend, God rest his soul, John Scarimbus, who was APP and Scratch Presents. You guys were putting the Dead Kennedys into the Cyclorama, and I guess they pulled the plug on it, and you scrambled, and it ended up at 9 Lansdowne. Is that correct, Al?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, that Spit show with Black Flag was supposed to happen at the Rat, but the Rat heard that there'd be slam dancing, and so they told me to way.
All right, hold on.
Spit.
The end of the world.
Here we go. Here we go. My archive goes deep. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, Phil and Flash presents Black Flag at Spit with Dez singing. Pow!
Oh, that's a good one.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great, man.
I mean, you know, Jamie, this is like one of my regrets. Like, I never saw Black Flag with Dez. I kind of came in right when they were transitioning, and man, this just looks like, sometimes you see photos and like, this looks ferocious, man.
Yeah. I saw him about 5 or 6 times with Dez on vocals, because Al and I were hanging out together at that point in time. I mean, well, this show we didn't know each other. We were both at the show, but we didn't know each other yet. But soon later, a few weeks later, we got together, and then we just started. If Black Flag was anywhere within 4 or 5 states, we would go down.
Drew, go back to that picture.
Hold on, I'm here. You go. Hold on. And let me just mention that these photos, like this one here, these are all photos that Duane and I accumulated to do the Boston hardcore film. Phil and Flash came to Boston with all these negatives, and we spent a whole night scanning them. So yeah, here's the shot of. Here it is. You were saying?
Who's the photographer in the back? With a satin jacket on, no less.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know.
That's a good question.
Another person that'll surface at some point.
Yep.
Let me just because they're so awesome. Let me find another here. I have the whole roll of film. Here, wow, these are so killer, man. I think these have never been seen. Well, this one we've seen. Okay, Al Burrell, this one's for you because you called me out on the Daisy Dukes shorts. Okay, here you go. There's a shot from that show. There's Al Burrell with the homemade Black Flag shirt representing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right? Al with a fro.
In the pit.
In the pit with the fro. Come on, Al Burrell. Come on, Al Burrell. Hey, Al, could you grow that fro back? Here's another shot from that show. Phil and Flash once again. As we poke around here, this is another one. There's Al. Is
that Shred?
No.
No.
I
don't know. I remember.
You know who's in a lot of these pictures? Jamie on stage was Flag's boy Mugger. He's in a lot of these pictures.
Yeah.
That dude, man.
Yeah.
That dude.
Yeah, that particular show, I remember. I remember Bob White was there. Al was there. I think maybe Richie Collins was there. None of us knew each other at that point in time, but
right.
In photos you can see that we were all there.
Hold on, I'm looking for one.
I always think of that as like one of the first real like hardcore shows.
Yeah.
I mean, the Big Kennedys were kind of that transition from like punk rock to hardcore, but Black Flag was like, if you want to, whatever you want to call that. If you want to call it hardcore music, they were the first ones to come through. Then I think shortly after that, DOA came through, and a bunch of other bands.
Where did DOA came through? But that wasn't the show where we tore the ceiling down, right? They played the Underground before that.
Yeah, they played the Underground before that, which was a short-lived club. Got bought up. I think Easton bought it and turned it into a laundromat, but for the students. But DOA played this place, the Underground. And I remember Springer I remember Phil and Flash being there. So I assume Springer was with them because Springer was always tagging along, even though he was like 13 years old at the time.
Hey, Duane, let's talk a little bit about this. This was a kind of a watershed moment. Let's talk about this a little bit, and then I'm going to take a sponsor break, and we're going to come back and bring Sid the Kid on, and we'll do album of the week, which resonates with all of us. Duane, let's talk about this, man. What was the succession of events that brought Minor Threat to play the Gallery East?
That was all Al Burrell. I mean, he had a pretty good relationship with Ian MacKay, and he basically put the show together. The only thing that we were concerned about is going up in the price from $3 to $5. And that
How
was,
dare you?
we got the permits. The place was jammed. I mean, I don't even think there was a pit that day. I think it was, more like a wave, where people were pushing on each other rather than, a really defined, pit.
Now, that is the
Awesome.
segue. That is the segue for a couple of pictures here from Angela via her husband Ed. These have never been seen before, and let's go with this initially. Knock your fucking socks off. Get a load of this. Bam.
That's great.
Yeah. Look at what's going on in the audience. I love how I see that's Ross, right? Ross Luongo. Everyone's like, oh, fucking awesome. These are awesome. There's one. And
we didn't have very good ones for the film.
No.
That's a really great shot.
Here's another one from that Minor Threat show. Incredible. Bam.
Oh, yeah.
Who's this kid in the middle? I don't remember his name. Jamie, you remember this kid?
I don't remember his name either, but I remember him. I think he was like a Quincy kid or something like that.
Yeah.
He was
Sean
Braintree
McLean,
kid. Might have been a Braintree
You
kid.
don't know.
Sean McLean.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, get the hell out of here. That's Sean?
It might be.
Sean, is that you? I think he's
Hey, what yeah, Jay, or what are you guys? Who's the kid in the middle? Yeah.
That's obviously Aronson, right?
Yeah.
On the right.
And wait, here's another one.
Aronson.
These are so friggin' smoking, man.
Yeah. Jay says Sean McLean, skater from Braintree. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I got it. It was a Braintree kid. No, not a Dogmatic. That's not a Dogmatic. Looks that way. These Irish kids, they all look the same, See, I'm laying off the Italians. I'm on the Irish now. The Irish kids, they all look the same.
It's Chris Doherty's best friend.
Yeah, right. Here's another one. Never before seen. Incredible. Boom. Look at that.
Wow.
Now there's Brian, our friend Brian Baker, and who was on the show, who's in Bad Religion now, of course. And there's Lyle. But yeah, incredible. Yep. Yeah, Johnny Rock, you need a time machine. You know what? I need a time machine too, because I was not at this show. Because this show happened on June 12th, 1982. And I guess I left Boston to go back to New York to do something. I wasn't around for this. So
you were probably working with your dad then.
Yeah, I would go back and work with my dad in the film business. And that's how, yeah, Brian Baker looks like he's 6 years old. Absolutely. Brian's got, I like Brian Baker a lot. He's got a good sense of humor about all this stuff, about these old shots. And, I think we mentioned this before, that Negative Effects Government Issue show. Here's one of Angela's shots. And here's Brian Baker again playing guitar for Government Issue, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he played with them for a while. I remember when we played that Chancery show. Remember that, Drew? He was playing guitar with them at that point, too.
Of course. Jamie, you got to tell Jamie.
What's that?
Yeah.
Then he was in the Meatmen.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right, too. Well, Lyle was in the Meatmen. Was Brian, too? Maybe Brian was, too.
Hey, Jamie, you got to tell the story about how I used to bust fucking John Staub's balls.
Yeah, the story. One of my favorite stories about you, Drew. When we went down to DC to see, we were playing. SSD was playing that Chancery show, and we were hanging out in Georgetown, and there was a record shop, and we all, of course, went in there. And the guy at the front door, it looked like he was kind of almost like a bouncer but he was just hanging out the front door, and he had these striped bell-bottom pants on, and you're shitting all over this dude. You're like, nice pants, dude. And then someone elbows you, and you're like, dude, you know who that is? And then we played with them like a few hours later. But He had a good sense of humor as well.
You know, I hear those stories, man, about back then, and like I'm like, God damn. You know, we would just you say back then about in those early days, Jamie, like how things were like pretty stressful, but we were pretty antagonistic in our own right, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that time we went down to DC. For some reason, every time we went down to DC, stupid shit happened. But man, I remember hanging out in Georgetown. You were fucking out of your mind that day. You were like jumping on hoods of cars and stuff. I mean, we were like, we got a lot of douchebaggery going on down.
Yeah, here come the Boston guys. You know,
yeah, a little bit of that, I think.
Yeah.
That
so,
happened a lot in New York.
Sorry, go ahead.
You guys, sorry.
No, I was gonna say that kind of shit went down a lot in New York as well, but yeah, that whole like, oh, we're here, look at us,
we're here, let's put on a show.
Yeah,
and I think that a lot of that, Jamie, came from even in Boston, because it was like there was that moment I remember where everywhere we went, it was like, oh no, they're here, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, we used to like show up like at least 12 strong at most any show. There was always, you know, the van was full of people, and wherever we'd go, all of a sudden those doors opened and it was like a clown car. I mean, we just kept coming out, and then we'd go to the show.
And then there was a point where Al had his van and I had my van. So between the two vans, you could put in like 20 skinheads.
Yeah. Hey, Jamie, the time we went down to New York, and we stayed at the studio where the Bad Brains lived.
Yeah. Wow, you were at that show, huh? Yeah, the at the 171A? Yeah, I think they let us sleep there or something.
Yeah. And where did you guys play that night? I forget.
We played at H7. Was it an H7 show?
No, I thought it was in the Village for some reason.
Well, it is. It's the East Village.
Yeah. No, not the East Village.
But Jamie, as far as I know, the first, and Al could probably confirm that, but the first couple of times you guys went to New York, you played A7, right?
Yeah, definitely the first time was definitely the A7. First time we ever played New York. I remember we went to New York for a Bad Brain show, and we were hanging out with HR and Dr. No, and they were like, "Oh, you guys should play here. We'll bring you down to the A7 and we'll get you booked." And we walked to the A7 and they said, yeah, you know, they set up a time for us. And yeah, it was simple as that back then.
Max's Kansas City. You guys didn't play Max's Kansas City, right?
No.
Oh, Al's saying it was Bad Brains at Max's Kansas City.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah. That could be. Those were pretty intense, you know? Yeah. Hey, let me take a sponsor break and shout out our awesome sponsors, and then let's come back and we'll do Album of the Week with Sid the Kid, okay?
All right.
See you in a bit. All right, here we go. Once again, this is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. It is the Gallery East 40th anniversary show. Our guests are Duane Lucia, Jamie Sharappa from SSD Control, and promoter, producer Alec Peters, and featuring the incredible photos that have just resurfaced from Angelo Orangio. We are sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, DTFM Vinyl Distro, 126 Hardcore Clothing, Chacho's Tacos, and since 1992, Generation Records has been a mainstay of the New York metropolitan area music scene. Today, they offer a diverse selection of new and used rock, jazz, indie, hip-hop, punk, hardcore, metal, blues, soundtrack, and reggae LPs, as well as T-shirts, posters, and other merchandise. They buy used record collections and music memorabilia and will pay you top dollar for them. House calls made for large collections in the tri-state area. Call or email generationrecords@gmail.com. Follow them on Facebook and on Instagram. Come on now, Joe Rumini. The Texas Silver Rush is a jewelry design firm and boutique store located at the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres to design and create unique one-off pieces, as well as style them for stage, album covers, promo photos, and social media exposure. Their client list includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Greg Rollet, Ringo Starr, and of course, Agnostic Front. During this current pandemic, all information and online sales are being taken. Their Facebook and Instagram page, and of course, www.thetexassilverrush.com. Also, while we are at it, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, located in Lakewood, Colorado, is the Rocky Mountain headquarters for all things punk, hardcore, and metal. Established in 2014, they have the largest selection of CDs, shirts, stickers, patches, and accessories between Chicago and Los Angeles. From the pit to the ditch, they got your back. Get in touch with them at www.chainreactionrecords.com. That said, I want to talk to you about the next 4 shows. Here we go. The next 4 shows. Boom. Let me clear the deck a little bit. Okay, I got it. Thank you, buddy. Pronounced Angela or Orangio? Or is that right, Ed? Or orange, like an orange? Orangio? Yep. Yo, it's a new angle. I got a new angle on things. There you go. New angle on things. Not to be confused with the old angle. Okay, I got it. I'm sure I'll mess it up again. I got to write it out. I got to write it out phonetically, and I certainly want to be respectful and pronounce Angela's name right. So let me write that down. Angela Orangio. Okay, let's try that. How about the next 4 shows? This is what's going on. Let's hope this one comes off with Rick Agnew. Rick Agnew is a character, and he comes and goes. So Wednesday, March 23rd, from the Adolescents, and of course, Christian Death, Rick Agnew. Sunday, March 27th, the Big Thumper, Riggs Ross, currently of Sub-Zero, formerly of Madball, Hatebreed, and Scarhead. Wednesday, March 30th, Women in the Pit, Women of the Pit. I always kind of screw that up. Women of the Pit represent Flora Famafa is coming on the show. She's also in the 1865 with our friend Sasha Jenkins. We're looking forward to having her on the show. And then Wednesday, April 6th, our buddy from who the fuck is that guy? The Fabulous Journey of Michael Alago, Joe Sib is on the show. I want to remind everyone that there is a Patreon page, and your support is needed for this show. So please support the show. Be a patron. There's all kinds of perks with a patron. You get the book. There's some T-shirts, whatever. Support this show. It's the only way to make it happen. And I want to thank everybody that supports the show. It means an awful lot to me and a lot of other people. What else? Yes, rest in peace, Victoria. I want to post the GoFundMe. Where is that? Sally, give me the. Oh, here it is. I got it. I think. Actually, I can't cut and paste that. Here it is. Wait, hold on. La la la. Boom. There is the GoFundMe for Victoria. Please help her family bury her and give her the respect that she deserves. There it is, Sally. That said, what else? Oh, you know what? Got to mention this. My new film is heading out. I'm going to be doing a bunch of screenings. This is the first one. It's going to be followed by DC, New York, Israel, and Germany. But this is the first one that's happening. It is a week from Thursday, the world premiere of The Jews and the Blues. All my Florida people, it is down in premiering at the Boca Raton Jewish Film Festival. which is in Delray Beach. Don't ask me how or why, but this film is screening in Delray Beach. And the really cool thing about it, one of the really cool things about this it's screening in the Movies of Delray, which is literally right across the parking lot from where my dad lives. Just as fate would have it, Arnie Stone in Huntington Towers, right across the parking lot from his front door in his building, you could see the back of this movie theater. So Arnie's doing the Q&A with me, the post-screening Q&A. Rumor has it my brother Evan B. Stone is going to be down there as well. So please, if you're in Florida, please come to the screening. We could use the support. How, why, what? If you're in Florida, Paulie, get your ass to the screening. It's Thursday, March 10th. That's a week from this Thursday at 3:15. Hope it comes out on DVD. Bro, what are you, living in a cave? Who the fuck's listening to DVD? Who the fuck watches DVDs these days? Good Lord, man. You know, DVD. Come on, man. It's a whole new exciting world out there with streaming. But that said, the chances are this film is not coming out on DVD. That's sort of a bygone era. I want to shout out my new patrons. Once again, my new patrons, Mick Lambro, Rob, Mick Slattery, Gabriel Nodet, Barefoot Mailman, and Dave Martin. Thank you so much for supporting this show. Thank you for enabling me. You're enablers. You're all enablers. You know, I have a wall of DVDs. Well, Kevin, that doesn't surprise me, bro. Thank you, buddy. Larry Kelly, I couldn't do it without you, dude. Hey, Angela. Good. We're gonna put up some more of your pictures, Angela. And I'm a big fan of your work. So there you go. Let's keep going here. What else? I want to thank the Facebook pages that support me. There's like 50 pages that repost this show. There's a want to remind everybody to follow me on your communication device. On Instagram at stonefilmsnyc.com. Please follow me, and so you can get alerts on what's happening with the show. Yo, shouting out Angela, great photos. See, you got a big, yo, come on now, Stephen Oswald from the High and the Mighty, original High and the Mighty drummer, kid I grew up with in the Bronx. Yo, I miss you, Ozzy. Hopefully I see you one of these days. But there he is, Stephen Ozzy Oswald. What else? We're going to do questions later. There is a super chat. If you want to contribute to the show, the super chat comes up in color when we do questions from around the world. Please feel free. That said, let me clear the deck. Let's bring our guests back on. I'm getting tired of this routine. No, actually, I was really looking forward to today's show, and thanks everybody. You know, these are some people. Yeah, I gotta say, people on today's show. These are people who are an intricate part of me growing up and making me who I am. These three people. These are people that you feel that. I know a lot of you can relate, and it's not just a hardcore thing, but a musical thing or whatever. But I'll pertain it to this hardcore thing. And like these are people I was in the trenches with, so they hold a special place in my heart. Let me clear the deck. Here you go. Let's bring on from the Gallery East, Mr. Duane Lucia, from SSD Control, Jamie Sharappa, and Mr. Alec Peters. Hey, Al, you gonna come down to my screening?
I'll be there.
So don't hurt my feelings, bro. Please come. Please come.
I'll be there, guaranteed.
Yeah, it'll be fun, man. I'll introduce you to my dad. That said, let's bring on our friend, Mr. Sid the Kid. What's up, Sid?
What's going on, Drew?
What's up, man? How are you?
The magic trick thing, I need to switch it up, Drew. I got to do something a little more different with this freaking thing. Yep. I got to do what you do. Get a green screen. Get something going on here.
I don't have a green screen, bro. Listen, let me tell you something. These gold records and these accolades are not green screen. These are the real things.
Well, trust me.
I earn these.
I know you did, Drew. But see, look, this that's not green screen.
Yeah, no, you can do green screen on this thing. So
I know.
There he is, Sid the Kid. Hey, so here we go, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen of all ages. This is Sid the Kid Album of the Week. Bam. Boom. There you go.
Boom.
Dude. All right, Sid, you're on. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to keep this one short and sweet, everybody, because, we got such a lot to cover here. But this is Jerry's Kids. Is This My World? This came out in 1983, and Exclaim released this. I believe Giordano, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, produced and engineered this album. Little notes here and there about the record, too.
Lou Giordano is the proper pronunciation. Giordano.
Thank you.
But that was good. Go on.
And you know what? It took me, I haven't listened to this record in a good couple of decades. And now looking back on it, just simply, you didn't even realize at the time, Chris Doherty from Gangrene, obviously well-known Boston hardcore band, was also in this band as well. The one thing I can't take away from this, for the 24 minutes of this record coming out, it comes straight out of the gate and it hits you, and it hits you right here, hits you here, hits you everywhere. This record is hard fucking core. Again, if I said time and time again with certain bands coming out from certain cities, and you think Boston, you think SSD, you think Gangrene, you think even the Freeze, but Jerry's Kids was that band that was there, but never, I believe, got the recognition that they truly deserved, and it shows within this record. Now, the one thing I talked to Drew about this, pre-show, was the drummer Brian. His drumming is ridiculously insane. I can compare his drumming, just the ferocity of it, as I can compare it to Spitz from Fear. It's just that hard. It's nonstop. It just keeps going, and it just goes back for more. Just a straight up hardcore record. It's short, it's sweet, and it's to the point, Drew. And that's my little take on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Hold on. Let me get the gang on. Jamie, let me get the record cover back up. And Jamie, any thoughts on this record?
No, I just, I remember when it came out as well, and it was just a punch in the face. That song Lost, I still play that to this day. I'm still listening to that thing.
Yeah, Bob Sensi sings that.
Yeah, Bob sings that one.
Really, even though Tear It Up is, to me, one of the standout tracks of that record, Tear It Up and Build Me a Bomb. Those were the two tracks that really stuck out to me on this record.
I don't belong here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And neither do you.
But you're right, Sid. I don't think they get a lot of the credit they deserve. Their name doesn't come up enough in conversations about Boston hardcore.
When we did the Boston hardcore film, after many years, I revisited many of these records, and this record in particular really, really, man, stood the test of time and just smokes, man. Next to SSD Control, Get It Away, I think this is my number 2. This record just kills. It's an incredible record. And Alec, I guess I know you were very intricately involved with Gangrene, managing them and producing them later. But I guess there was Gangrene took a hiatus, and Chris Doherty was in Jerry's Kids for this record. And then what happened? And then they got Gangrene back together, and then you guys went on your ride, right, Alec?
Well, right. The original 3-piece Gangrene broke up, and Chris joined Jerry's Kids. And then after they did their thing for a while, he got a hold of Walter Gustafson, the drummer, and they recruited the Stilfen brothers and made a whole new Gangrene.
Right. And that version of Gangrene, really went on to have a pretty glorious run there, right? Didn't you guys were on Mercury and you did, you guys really made a nice run, right?
Well, Gangrene wasn't on Mercury, but Chris Lader was in a different band.
Clover, right?
Yeah.
Why did I think? What were those? What was Alcohol? What were those records? What label was that out on? Was
Tang.
Tang. Those
was
were on
always
Tang
Tang?
Records.
Okay.
Tang, and then they were on Roadrunner.
Yeah.
Right. Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Sid, well done. Hold on. I'm getting your. I know you have a show coming up, and
Yep.
I know you get pissed, but I'll get your.
Hey, today, Drew. It's all about the love today, Drew.
I'll get your banner up. But here you go, Sid. Thank you. Good work. Tell us about it.
All right, guys. So, and before anything, Ed Culver, that's his pick. This has been shown on the show before. So obviously he needs the credit for this iconic photo. And the kid who keeps doing this, I'm surprised the guy's still alive today. But anyway, check it out. I'm doing a special little thing. I'm going to be doing a monthly kind of a thing. I've been gathering a lot of really obscure American hardcore bands. I've been kind of going through my archives. I'm going to be doing probably like an hour and a half, probably even 2 hours special coming up this Wednesday, March 2nd, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or New York time. Just go to mixlr.com/SDK Sound System and just check it out, because I really did a lot of work on this one. It's one of the, I gotta say honestly, probably one of the best shows I've probably had since the last year and a half I've been doing this. And I have a really big surprise I have lined up for April, which I can't talk about just yet, but it's a coming.
All right, Sid. Well done, buddy.
All righty, Drew.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. Cheers, guys.
All right. There you go. Let's bring our guests back on. I want to see something. Here's something really cool. Jamie, I know this has come up before, but this photo here. Let me still take some getting used to me for the side angle is this photo here, right? This is a fill and flash photo actually. And what we're doing here, right? That's, you know who's in this picture, Jamie?
Yeah.
That's Grimes.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson, who's, the editor of Forced Exposure. So that's what we're holding. There's me, Grimes. What's his name? The bass player from Gangrene, the original bass player.
Bill Maney. Bill Maney.
Bill, yeah. Richie Collins, and then, of course, you, Drew.
Yo,
yeah, so this was some sort of promo shot, I guess we were doing, right? He was like, Phil's like, act like you're surprised or excited. We look like a bunch of idiots.
There's a couple of them, but this is the best picture of the bunch. Yo, I'm wearing the Jerry Cooney versus Larry Holmes shirt. But so I draw your attention to the cover of Forced Exposure, right? And which segues to this. Which was the cover of that Forced Exposure, right?
Mm.
Which segues to this incredible photo of Angela's that they sent me. And when I saw this, I was like, yeah, I remember that. Sure. There you go. There's the actual shot from Gallery East.
Yeah.
Was he jumping off the
monitor?
I think he was, right?
Yeah.
He's
I love those
pretty
big, Duane. I love those old. What do you call those? Flood bulbs that were in the roof of the gallery.
Oh yeah.
Those old school flood
bulbs. Yeah.
I don't think any of you guys remember Raymond's, which was a store on Washington Street, but they tore the store down and all this stuff was sitting on the side ready to go to salvage, and we ended up boosting a ton of it.
I remember Raymond's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's this is outside Gallery East. I think this is early on, when we talked about that neighborhood and that area, like on a weekend, there's Springer and Katie and
Jamie, this was the day the guy got shot,
Ricky.
right?
Oh shit, I don't remember that. Who got shot?
Who got shot?
So there was some scabs working in the in a site over on South Street, and some of the union iron workers who were working in the tower came down and they started beating on these guys when they were in the hole.
Wow.
One of the guys in the hole, one of the scabs pulled out a gun and shot somebody.
Damn.
And we were like right there. I thought you were there. Katie,
You know what? I actually vaguely remember this whole thing. Yeah.
Katie was there. I don't know if maybe Springer and Christine left earlier, or it's kind of like a weird day, but it was late in the afternoon.
Here's another
shit.
shot from the parking lot.
I've never seen this one.
Well, that's you on the right, Jamie.
Yeah, that's me on the right. That's Bridget and Bridget Burpee at the time. Collins, Katie.
Okay. You know what my question is? What band drove this stuff around in that hearse?
The Sickness.
The Sickness?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Chuck Stilfen had a hearse.
Mary Lifeless.
Yeah.
So the Sickness played the gallery?
Yeah, they practiced upstairs. They were
they
were like the roadies for Peter Dayton.
Sickness. I was wondering, and I love the Duane Phillipson.
That's Al Ford work, right? Isn't that? Yeah.
Fill us in on the stuff on the wall, Duane.
So it's basically all Al Ford's. That's my daughter in the little rainbow.
Aurora, right? Yeah.
Al spray painted that. And I helped him put up those, what were kind of like air vents, HVAC vents.
Yeah.
And then, he did that whole mural.
You know, Al Baril said the Freeze trucked their stuff around in a hearse, and I tend to think that he's correct. I think this might be. I think that this might be the second SSD Control show that you played with the Freeze.
No, this was the
no. This is way earlier because my hair is. I still have hair. I shaved my head.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah, this
Plus
is
you were
real early,
Jamie.
and of course, that wall there and all the graffiti shouting out, got to shout out RS-70. Here's a shot of the infamous Jake Phelps, when we set up a skateboard ramp, on the wall back there, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Look at how much more graffiti there is at this point compared to the previous shot. Because I think that was, that first shot you showed us real early.
Yeah, right.
God, I don't even know if we were playing shows at that point. I don't know.
No, I think it was April of '82.
Wow.
There's a Sickness tag there.
Yeah, you know what? Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Larry Lifeless. Who passed away fairly. That's right, Larry Kelly. Rest in peace, Larry Lifeless. And here is this is another one from the parking lot, and this is in glorious color, which is such. Not sure where this came from, Duane. I think this might have been from one of our scanning parties. But here's
that was from what's her name down in Rhode Island.
Kate Windsor. What's her name?
Yeah.
Windsor.
Yeah.
Karen Windsor.
Karen Windsor.
Right. Yeah. So there's some accoutrements. I want to kind of pull it back in and talk about this show. I guess we got some heat, Duane, for this show, for this flyer, right?
Oh yeah.
What was that about?
If you could see the little on the, not the hand with the knife, but the other hand, it says "cut here."
Yeah, it says cut a long dotted line on the wrist.
when we went to get the permits, the captain, who was Area A1 captain, he was kind of interrogating us. What's
Yeah.
going on? What's all this stuff? You know,
It's a
kind
mass
of looked like
suicide.
it kind of looked like it was promoting violence with the knife. And
I wonder who drew this. Anybody?
I think
Awesome bill. Look at that
Dickie?
bill.
I think it's Julie Engerman drew that.
Julie Angerman. That's the name I couldn't remember before.
Yeah.
Who was in the crowd? Julie, who played drums in Impact Unit with Dickie Barrett, who passed away a bunch of years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she drew this because I think that she's the same person that drew the fist for Dave Smalley's tattoo, and
Yeah.
it's pretty similar.
Right.
yeah, looks
So this
very-
show, this was the Process of Elimination tour, which was Necros, Negative Approach, Meatmen, McDonald's, and Gangrene. And I defer here to a couple of Angela's photos. Oh man. Okay, let's blow some minds here, huh? This has never been seen before. This is Negative Approach at Gallery East.
That's awesome.
Boom.
Oh damn, that's great! What a
Yep.
great shot.
And you see in the background there's Jake Phelps with his eyebrows shaved.
I remember when he did that. Yeah, this
God.
shred on his left. There's my wife Angie right next to.
Yeah,
next
there's
to-
Angie right in the middle. That's right.
Wow.
That's right. Incredible. Here's another one. Another one from that show. Oof, man, these are fucking hard, man. Oh yeah. I gotta mention Duane about this too. Here's another one of Negative Approach. And Duane, nice touch with the hanging plants. Love it. Love it. Those are awesome. It seems that at this point now, this, according to my calculations, this is the 11th show. This is like there was two more after this. This is the 8/13/82. It seems that at this point, the stage, there was no stage. You were doing it back up by the windows, right?
apparently, yeah.
Yeah. Unless they put that stage was movable.
Oh no! You know what it was? We put the stage in front of this, so there was
Yeah. That makes sense.
there were like two stages. There was like the cement stage that you guys put on the first time, and then the other stage was in front of it. I think
Jamie, name that band.
Oh shit. Barry Hensler.
Yeah. That's one of Angela's photos from that day. That of course being the Necros.
Yeah.
And what was the gal's name on the right there? Was it Susan?
On the far right?
Yeah.
Because that's Jackie. On the left, it's Jackie. What's Nancy's best friend? Jackie Key.
I believe that was
Keys.
Sue.
Yeah.
Anybody remember on the far right? Anybody out there?
She was she was from Quincy or something like that. She was around all the shows.
She was awesome. I spent a lot of time with her.
Yeah.
She was hard as fuck.
Yeah.
She was hard.
the real deal.
She was the real deal, man. She used to, when we used to go into funky ass places, and she was right there with us, man. Yep. And Larry Kelly, what was her name? Larry would know. Yeah, Necros. How about that, right? Incredible shots, Angela. And what else? So this is Gangrene, and I want to shout out Mike Dean, who I reached out to. Hopefully he's watching the show. But this is the first lineup of Gangrene. This is them playing that same day.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's Mike Dean with his head shaved playing drums. There's Bill playing bass. And Chris Doherty.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that dude is on the stage with them.
I think with a skate pad on his arm.
He's got an elbow pad on. A bunch of guys too.
You know what? Oh wait, hold on. A clue has revealed itself. Look at the guy all the way on the right. You know who that is?
He's got elbow pads.
It's Johnny Blue Tile.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And so if Blue Tile's got a pad on, this might be, I
mean, at first I thought it was Paul, but no.
No, that's Blue Tile.
Yeah.
Blue Tile Man. I got into some shit with him back in the day. Forget it.
Yo, Drew. Jay said that chick did federal time in
Yeah.
jail. Bank
So,
robbery.
yeah. Jay says I grew up with Sue. That was her name. Sue Shacked. Sue Shacked. She was awesome. Jay says he grew up with her. She did federal time for bank robbery. Yeah, man. She was off the hook. There was like 8 skinheads in her. She was hard. Like it was. Yeah, Larry Kelly says Jake had his eyebrows shaved when we went to Cherry Hill Skate Park. Nico, bless Drew for archiving an organization of all this. Nico, I do it because I love it. And I do it because I feel that it's important. Yeah, she passed away. I heard that. I heard that she passed away. I have fond memories of her. Okay. Here's another one. Come on, Angela. Angela bringing the ruckus right here. Bam. Come on now. Boom.
Nice.
That is the Meat Men. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's a skinny Tesco.
Yeah, right. That is a skinny. Yep.
Yeah, I remember somebody drew that picture on his stomach or chest, whatever. It's a picture of it. I think it's supposed to be him giving himself a blowjob, if I'm not mistaken.
God,
there's John Brannigan right there.
That's a young John Brannon right there, right? Let me see. Yeah. Oh God, these are so great. I know that Jamie. I think I'm skipping here to the MDC show after this, but this is a great picture of the mighty SSD Control.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, that's the same show because there's that gal on the right, right?
Yeah, that's Jackie Keys.
Yeah, so that's the same show. And Duane, I have to say, the foliage, love it.
Spider plants.
So awesome. Spider plants all hanging. Like you don't see that at many hardcore shows, Yes, Paul, these pics are gold, courtesy of Angela Orengio and her husband Ed, who were so kind to send these to me, and they're putting this stuff out there. I want to say this about these photographs. They're putting a lot of these photographs out there right now, all over the internet, and I think it's great because there's a lot of, I don't say a lot of, but I'm going to keep it in the eye here, and I'm going to let something fly that in my travels and being a filmmaker and doing stuff, there's a lot of times that these archives and these photos never see the light of day. And I think that's really a tragedy and a disservice and really sad when a real piece of history, it never gets out there. I personally feel that the art should be liberated and the art is for the people. When we did the Boston hardcore film, the photographer, Bruce Rhodes, we tried to interact with him about his archive, and he, for whatever the reason, wasn't interested. And to this day, doesn't talk to anyone. And to this day, Bruce Rhodes' archive is rotting in his basement. And I just think that's a real tragedy, and it's really sad. And it bothers me. So it's really great when people like Angela, finally get the stuff out there. There's a value to this, and I'm not talking about monetary value. This is a part of Americana. This is a part of history. It's important stuff, man. Here's a shot that Angela took of me with the mighty COs at the Gallery East. All of me at 18 years old, I was a teenage skinhead. Yes. There you go. This, Duane, did this? I never did this show happen. Because it seems like there's photos for all this Gallery East stuff. But did Void play?
No, Void didn't play, but I think maybe the FUs and DYS played.
Void
Okay.
were awesome.
Yeah. Here's yeah, there's a lot of FU stuff. Oh wow. Here's one that I think I'll save this. This is from we did that that MDC show, right? Here's a great Angela shot of MDC at Gallery East.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Look at Jake back there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then this came up, in what they sent me, and it took me a minute to figure this out because the two people in this band, the drummer and the bass player, who still play music, one of them on a very high level. Anybody know what this is?
That's Double O, isn't it?
No.
No, not Double O.
No.
I don't know what it is.
Anybody? Let's see. Let's play the field. Anybody know what this is? What band this is? Let's see what comes up.
What the fuck is that?
Yep. Let's see if anybody watching knows Larry Kelly.
Oh, that's Deep Wound.
You got it. Pat Baldwin got it. Yes, that is Deep Wound. That is Deep Wound. The drummer, of course, Jay Mascis, who went on, Dinosaur Jr., and the bass player is our good friend Scott Helland, who's got the Guitar Me of One and was later in the Outpatients and does his thing, Frenchie and the Punk. Here's another one. I know we're poking around here, but a couple of real. Oh, that's right. That's Lou Barlow. Thank you, Paul. That's right. That's Lou Barlow from Deep Wound. Right. This is a real rarity. This is the what was in the stuff that they sent me. Took me a minute to figure out what this is. As far as I know, for a while, I had the only shot of Brian Jones singing for Jerry's Kids. This is Brian Jones doing a song with Jerry's Kids. Very rare. Of course, Brian Jones sang on the Jerry's Kids tracks on This Is Boston, Not LA. Then he left the band. But this is, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong out there, this is Brian Jones doing a song with Jerry's Kids.
Look at Brian with the Roto Toms.
Yeah, right. And then here's another Jerry's Kids shot, which, I guess a month later, you remember this whole thing? Who's singing for Jerry's Kids for this show?
Joe
Sackout.
Yeah, Joe Sackout.
Right?
Yeah.
Joe Sackout singing for Jerry's Kids. That lasted, I think, a show or two. And then I guess what's his name?
Rick.
The other Jones brother said, I'll just do it myself, So that said, here's it's an interesting one. I did not know that this existed, and I did not have this on my list, Duane, until you sent it to me and we discussed it earlier today. Psycho, FUs, and the Annoyed. Did this really happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know. Psycho. Psycho's a band that was around early on, and I wasn't part of the hardcore scene, and yet they had there was some overlap there, right?
What was that guy's name, Duane?
Wait a second. Whoa, hold your horses. Wait a second. That's Angela's brother, Joe? Joe Sackout is Angela's brother? What? Hold your horses. Whoa.
That's crazy.
The photographer, come on now. Is that right, Ed? That is, wait, I got another picture that, hold on.
I never knew what Joe's last name was. Everybody called him Sackout. I don't even know why we called him. I don't know why we called him Joe Sackout.
Yeah, because it was Joe. There was the three of them. He says, "Didn't know you called him Sackout." Yeah, because I think it was because we all went on that DC trip. The three. It was Joe. What's his name from Force?
Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson. And the third one
was a name. His name was John. Jimmy, Joe, and John. We call them.
Right.
Yeah.
They were the Sackouts. Yep. Yep. Yeah, we got who knew that? Wow, what's Joe doing these days, man? What's Joe Sackout doing, man? Hold on, I want to find another picture of Joe Sackout singing for. Yeah,
you got a great one of him with the Misfits.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Jerry's Kids. Where are we? Jerry's Kids with Joe Sackout. Here we go. This is how I label stuff. Jerry's Kids with Joe Sackout. Oh, I don't know if you're talking about with the Misfits or you're talking about this, Duane, because here's Joe Sackout singing for Jerry's Kids, rocking the Misfits. Yo, come on now.
No. There's one where he's with the Misfits.
Yeah, you're right, Duane. I know the one you're talking about.
That photo.
Yeah.
It's one of the ones that surfaced recently by Angela.
There's Joe rocking the homemade Misfits shirt. That's hard. That is awesome. That is really.
That's Dave Aronson, right?
No.
Yes.
Guitar, yes. It is.
Dave Aronson, God rest his soul. That is right. Wow. Who knew?
That's
Angela's
amazing.
brother is Joe Sackout. You learn something new every day. I wonder how Joe is doing.
Added value.
What's that?
Added value to the show.
Yeah.
No, now I know why that when they sent me this file of pictures, the most pictures of everybody is of Joe Sackout singing. Here's another one for Jerry's Kids. Here's another one. Yo, Ed, you tell Joe he better watch this show because he's getting mad love on this show right now. The legend Joe Sackout. How awesome that is awesome. Yo, here's one, Duane, that like kind of, I don't want to say fell through the cracks, but the Freeze Gangrene and the Knot at Gallery East. I guess the Freeze.
Yeah, we had that poster.
Yeah,
it was on a blue piece of paper. They, for some reason, it was not your typical black and white, but that's definitely looks like an Al Baril poster. Somebody did it with a black marker. That was his signature.
Yeah.
Right, Jamie?
Yeah, those big. We used to use those big super markers, to make flyers. Needed it big and bold.
Here's one that I played, which could be the last show that I did singing for. At the time, became the Mighty COs. This was a benefit for Shred, right? Shred's fanzine, Frontal Assault, and Jerry's Kids, Gangrene, FUs, Mighty COs. I think this was the last show we did.
Shred's magazine was called Shred and Mini Shred.
Really? What was Frontal Assault? What was Frontal Assault?
I remember a fanzine called Frontal Assault. I had a copy.
For some reason, I thought it was Shreds because I remember he's the one that booked us for the show. Hey, Alec. Hey, Alex, shouting out our good friend, little Roy from Downset says Alex signed Downset in 1994, Mercury Records.
Yeah.
I did not. I'm friends with the Downset guys and Scott Koenig. of course, was a very close. I did not realize, Alec, that you signed Downset.
I did.
Wow.
I did. I kept on with working with hardcore.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Larry Kelly says The Knot were a very hard-working band. Okay. I don't personally remember The Knot. You know.
Nor do I.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what is this? Hold on. Oh man, come on now. Get your shoes and socks on for this one. This is great. This is great. Come on, Angela, knock it off. Boom.
Oh yeah.
Proletariat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh? Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He had that workers' party jacket and everything.
Yeah.
They came back a couple years ago, and the bass player was still playing that bass.
That's awesome.
I talked to him about it. That same was that like a Fender? What is that? A Precision. It's a Fender Precision.
It's a Precision.
Is that what you play, Jamie? A Precision?
Yeah, I have a black one. 78 Precision.
I really like that record they put out.
Oh hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Yeah, they were a great band. They didn't get the love they deserved.
Wait, Alec, the one recently or the one back then?
Back then.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. They were great, man. They were a band that, like another band, they weren't a hardcore band, but they were on the Boston Not LA comp, but they played a lot of hardcore shows, and they were awesome. Yes, Soma Holiday, right. That's the name of the record, right? Soma Holiday.
Yep.
Yeah, and what's his name? The singer, was it Richard?
Richard Brown.
Yep.
I think he just finished. I think he just retired from working for the post office. I think.
Oh, good for him. Nice benefits package.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let me see what else. Oh man. Just while we're at it, sorry if you hear my radiator clanging. You know, I live in a pre-war building in New York City. Here's a flyer that I made. Another True Stone flyer at the time. Good one. Youth Unite. Remember that? That was it. That was the call to arms. Youth Unite. FU's Gangrene, COs, Jerry's Kids, DYS. Yo, you know how we got the name the Mighty COs? It was Al Burrell, because I would talk the band up so much. Like, as I'm walking towards him, he's like, "What's up with the Mighty COs?" And then we just took it from there. We're the Mighty COs now, you know? Let me see. Duane, this is an interesting picture, and I know this isn't one of Angela's. This is a lifestyle shot, and I don't think this is Gallery East, but this is like you're doing a triage on somebody here.
Oh, that's Gallery East.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, so that goes with the show that got shut down, where Al and Jamie and Al Ford are talking to the policeman.
Yeah.
I'm in the bathroom helping this kid. He split his eye open. And it's funny because when the cops came in to shut the show down, he wanted to somebody pointed me out to him that I was in charge, and he came up to me, and I get the kid in my arms, and he's like basically knocked unconscious. And I'm taking him to the bathroom. I think this was at Streets.
Yeah, I think so. Because if you look up, yeah, those lights weren't in Gallery East. Yeah, this
kid got his tooth knocked out at that show, and he ended up becoming a famous comic artist.
Really?
Yeah, he lives in New Jersey. I forget his name. We connected a couple of years back.
Big ups to Al Burrell for the customized X shirt, formerly MXR, the MXR pedal. That's awesome. That is. I never noticed that until today. That is awesome. Yep. That's what you had to do back then. You had to modify. You had to like modify. This is a Phil and Flash picture from the Gallery East. I think this was a cover of a Forced Exposure, but I can't resist the opportunity. John Staub, rest in peace. There he is with the rainbow slacks that I used to give him a hard time about.
Yeah,
There's that Al with
Joe
that
Sack out. There's Joe Sack out.
Yeah, there's Al before he blacked out the M and the R.
Yeah, right.
There's Richie Collins.
Yep.
Yeah, Joe Sack out.
Yep. Tom Lyle back there.
That's an awesome one.
Yeah, that's great. I'm just going through these real, so we could just take a pic. Duane going airborne at Gallery East. I think this is one of Phil's photos. Duane. Not only was it your venue, and you were sort of the point man, but you were in the pit a lot, man.
Yeah, well, it was exciting. It was fun.
Yeah.
How can you resist the fun? Everybody's having fun. There were times where I was collecting money at the door, and I think the Minor Threat show was that way. I don't even remember seeing that show.
Yeah.
I was just collecting money at the door. There was just a barrage of people. I think there were like 300 people at that show. It's crazy.
This is
what was the limit of people that could be in that gallery?
Oh yeah, probably like 100 at the most.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Well, this is a Phil and Flash picture. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jamie. This was on the record. This was one of the photos that was on Get It Away.
I think it was the
sleeve.
The what do you call it? The lyric sheet. I think it was the backside of the lyric sheet, if I'm not mistaken.
Great shot.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Get It Away is my favorite SSD record.
Yeah, you and me both, buddy.
Yeah, most people would say the same.
Do you think if you could go back, Jamie, you could have added like another maybe 8 songs?
Yeah, I just remember, finishing the first album, sold out, and we're like, okay, should we press more of those? We're like, no, let's just do another record real quick. And we only had whatever it was, 6 songs, 8 songs.
I think it's like 6. Is it 8 songs? Or I think it's 6.
Maybe 7 songs. I forget.
Yeah, and 7 songs in a cover, right?
Yeah.
7 songs in the Buzzcocks cover.
The song "Get It Away" rips.
Yeah. For sure. Hey, so let me. Alec. Anybody you want to shout out? Anything you want to mention? I'm gonna. Hey, yo, Alec, what was the first live show you went to?
Ever?
Seems that way, yeah.
Elton John at the Boston Garden.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you grow up in the?
I was at that show
years ago, back in the early 70s.
Did you grow up in the Boston area, Alec?
Concord, Mass.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
And
I was at that Elton show.
Huh?
I was at that Elton show.
Go ahead, Alec.
I'm going to come back and talk to you, Drew, about a project that I'm working on with Chris Doherty. It's a animated comedy about a bar in Boston, and it's loaded with music, Boston hardcore music from that period. It's really funny.
Cool. All right. Hey, Duane, let's talk about why the gallery closed. And here's a flyer, and I have this labeled as the 13th flyer. This has the last date, in the timeline. 13th show. The Mob, Reagan Youth, Urban Waste, Agnostic Front, Jerry's Kids. Did this show happen?
No.
And it didn't happen. And what led to the demise of the gallery? How did the Gallery East ended up? What was the swan song?
So our lease was running up in December of 82, and Al Ford had kind of had it with running a gallery. our rent was going up, and he decided he just wanted to paint. He didn't want to run a gallery anymore. So I would have ended up doing it on my own, and I wasn't ready for it, with a kid, and my ex-wife wanted to move to an apartment. It's loft living. I mean, you have to be cut out for loft living.
Yeah.
Yep.
And after, that was a set. Do you remember what was the rent on that space back then?
$600 a month.
Wow.
5,000 square feet for $600 a month.
Unreal.
But
You imagine what they're getting for it now. That's prime real estate.
It's a gym now, right, Duane?
yeah. Yep.
Speaking of
Probably about 15 to 20,000 a month.
At least.
Speaking of your daughter, Duane, here's a shot going, and I remember holding your daughter when she was a baby.
Yeah.
But we were all like, your daughter was part of our crew.
Yeah. Yep. You guys used to put her on a skateboard and play catch with her.
Yeah, we used to put her on the skateboard and push her across the floor to each other. That was cool. I know, if you get away with that these days, but there you go. Hey, let me take my last sponsor break and let's come back. Let's hang together a little bit and let's take some questions together and we'll wrap it up. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. If you gotta go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Our guests today are Duane Lucia from Gallery East, Jamie Sharappa from SSD Control, and our old friend, Mr. Alec Peters, producer and manager. We are sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, Texas Silver Rush Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, DTFM Vinyl Distro, Chacho's Tacos, 126 Hardcore Clothing, Generation Records, and right here in La Ciudad de Nueva York, Organic Grill. It's a vegan restaurant located in the East Village of New York City at 123 First Avenue, featured in New York Magazine, New York Times, and Veg News. The dishes have won numerous awards, including Best Veggie Burger. They make their own cheeses, sausages, and burger patties, and every dish on the menu can be made gluten-free. This year, they're celebrating their 22nd anniversary, and they're all about having a great time while enjoying amazing, clean food. They have now fully reopened for business and look forward to seeing you. Get in touch with them. Order some great food at www.theorganicgrill.com. Come on now, New York Hardcore Comics, Debo the Pro, and Lee Fairley. New York Hardcore Comics opened in 2013, selling comic books, punk rock and hardcore memorabilia, toys, statues, skateboard decks, tapes, vinyl, and all things horror. We love helping bands push their demos and new tracks, so please stop by and drop off your new music. We have in-store events like Magic the Gathering and Warhammer tournaments, plus meet and greets with bands and some live performances. Open 7 days a week and shipping worldwide. Find us online through Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and eBay, located at 117 Main Street in lovely Dobbs Ferry, New York. www.newyorkhardcorecomics.com. Want to mention a couple of upcoming shows. Wednesday, April 27th, 7th, from the Rods and formerly the Megaforce in-house producer, Mr. Carl Kennedy. There you go. This should be cool. He produced the early Anthrax, Blue Cheer, and Overkill releases that were on Megaforce. And of course, he was in the Rods playing drums. Here's another one in the much distant future on Sunday, April 17th. We are doing the Sound of Scars, Life of Agony documentary show with the director, Leigh Brooks. Joey Z and Alan Robert from Life of Agony will be on the show as well. All you Life of Agony fans, come on now. Let's get it on. Here's a show that has not been announced yet. Brooklyn Represent. This is a guy that talk about doing his time in the trenches. Sunday, April 10th, from Darkside NYC, Down Low and Disassociate, Mr. Matthew Melnick is going to be on the show. This is a guy that has a rich history in playing music in New York City. Great guy, interesting character. We're going to get into L'Amour's. We're going to get into all kinds of cool stuff. He just played the last Bowery Electric show that we did. Guitar player, ripping guitar player in Dark Side. Put your hands together, Mr. Matthew Melnick. So looking forward to that. Want to remind everyone also on Sunday, March 20th, the next Bowery Electric show. It is free. It is a matinee. It is all ages. Sunday, March 20th, 24/7 Spies, 8 neighborhood shit from Boston, serial poets, and celebrating the 33rd anniversary Icon Aside. So all that is going down. Come on down. It's going down. Matthew Melnick, there he is. Help me help you. Don't embarrass us. A lot is riding on this. All the New York music scene is riding on your shoulders, Matt Melnick. Yes, shout out to L'Amour's. There you go. Looking forward to having Mike. Okay, Michael LaRoche. Well, thank you. Greetings from New York City. What else? Everybody okay? Okay, good. Once again, rest in peace, Victoria DeConnick, New York hardcore soldier. What else? Want to thank all the patrons and everybody that supports the show. Coming up on 200 shows. Crazy. God. Good God. Also, hey, we're doing a walking tour, all you patrons. Walking tour Saturday, April 23rd. So if you are thinking, if you've been vacillating this long to join Patreon and support the show, come join it and come out and do the walking tour with us on April 23rd. Everyone is invited. Victoria, great show. Well, thank you. Glad you're enjoying it. Hope you're enjoying it at least half as much as we are. That said, questions. Any questions from around the world? Gallery East, Alec Peters, Jamie SSD Control. Please post your questions. Let's bring our friends back on. And here you go, Mr. Duane Lucia, Jamie Sharappa, Alec Peters. So there you go. Did I hear John Joseph moved to Florida? Yes, you heard correctly. John Joseph has moved to Florida, and that little bit of real estate was brought to you by. Here's a question: did Siege ever play Gallery East, Duane?
Who?
Siege. Who? What are you, an owl? Siege.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I don't think so. Why didn't Void play that show at the Gallery East?
I have no idea.
All right. Fair enough. Any of you guys ever skate or write graffiti? Jamie?
Yeah, I was a skater, for sure.
Yeah.
My whole life.
Graffiti was part of promotion.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yep.
if you didn't do graffiti, you weren't promoting your band or your gallery or your show.
We talk about that in the film, how like when we used to go out wheat pasting and pasting up. Someone sent me a crazy picture later. Hold on, I got to show you this picture. This came. Somebody sent me this picture. Let me see if I could find it. Someone sent me a picture of like some mailbox with a bunch of Mighty CO's flyers on it. And I remember when we used to go out wheat pasting, like there's certain places you had to be careful of, you get in trouble, right?
Yeah.
You remember that, Jamie?
Oh yeah, we'd go up and down Newbury Street, Boylston Street. I mean, we hit that whole city.
Yep.
Anyway, in front of any kind of club or any place we thought that punk rockers would be hanging out, that's where we hit.
I wish I could find that thing. That one's not. Yeah. And we go out in the winter too when it's. Hey, Alec, you're muted. Unmute yourself, dude. There you go.
I got dogs here.
Oh, well, thank you. That was awfully awfully kind. Hey, Duane, tell us about keeping the gallery. The Gallery East is still your brand. It's still around. What does the Gallery East do these days?
Oh man. The last show we did was at Time Out Market with Phil and Flash. All his photos we did the year before at the Midway Gallery. You were there. That was a pretty exciting day.
Yeah, it was good. Yep.
I actually have a couple of shows up now. Some of you might remember Magnus Johnstone, who was kind of a legend, disc jockey over at MBR.
Yep.
He had the reggae show. He had Lekos Lemma, which was one of the first rap shows in Boston. He had another show that he did Middle Eastern music.
Makes sense. You know, people ask me this a lot. This shit, like, any of you see Gigi before he went off the rails? Like, people always ask me about Gigi Allen, and like, you know, the Gigi. Jamie, you can help me with this. Gigi Allen was from Nashua, New Hampshire, right?
Manchester.
Yeah, somewhere in New Hampshire. No, Manchester? Yeah, that sounds right.
And I remember, like, when I joined the COs, those guys were from Nashua, and like, yo, we didn't want anything to do with Gigi Allen. Like, that was like a freak show, right?
Yeah, he was a little, he was, like you said, he's a little off the rails. You never knew what was going to happen with him. I mean, I told the story of, we played with them once down in Providence, Rhode Island. It was a really weird afternoon show.
Tell us about it.
It was just a little, their fans were insane and whatever. I mean, they were pretty good. I mean, the show itself was great. But the fans were like, attempting to like spit at us and the shit that they would do to him, they were trying to do with us. And man, Al almost took this girl's. I mean, I thought he was going to kill this girl. She spit at him, and he took his guitar off and swung it full force at her head. And luckily she backed up because it was crazy. But yeah, I mean, I think I only saw Gigi once or twice, and not like that first album that came out. He was like pretty mellow.
He actually had some good songs over there.
Yeah, his Was and Ever Shall Be, I think, was the name of the first record. And it was actually pretty good, yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I just remember early on, it was too Sid Vicious for me,
Yeah, exactly.
And when we first got into it, Jamie, that was very a polar opposite of what we were, what we were about early on.
We were pretty into we were into this whole straight edge thing, and that was kind of what we were revolting against, the whole, drug scene that was going on in the music thing.
Yeah, and he used to throw duty at people, man, and I didn't want duty thrown at me. Like,
he used to rub it on himself.
Yeah.
The only duty I want to see is like in the toilet before I flush it. You know? Exactly. Jay Johnson says Gigi was great early on.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Here, I'll answer this one for you, Jamie. A reissue of The Kids Will Have Their Say? Nah. All right, next question.
It might happen. We'll see.
Come on, man. Why not? Isn't Get It Away up on Spotify?
I don't know.
Did it get released digitally or something? Yeah.
It did get released digitally. Yeah, I don't listen to Spotify. I don't have Spotify. So.
Minus the cover song. I think it got.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, pretty sure.
I did hear that.
Yeah. Here's an interesting question. Did you guys ever think the scene would still be relevant today? Alex, start with you.
It was a pretty cool movement when it started, and you saw things in it that would be long lasting, I'm not surprised at all that there's elements of it still lasting. The purity of it is gone now.
Yeah.
But No, I'm not surprised by it.
Jamie?
I mean, when we were in the middle of it all, you just thought like, oh, well, we were having a good time, but you were young and you weren't thinking about the future, really. So yeah, I'm somewhat surprised that people are still interested in it. I mean, like you say, sometimes you see things that pop up, like, that whole like X with letters and that thing that like, off the first SSD record, and, that shit it continues on somehow. Pretty crazy. And you see like, obviously like, the Crimson Ghost that the Misfits, took and used is, everywhere.
Yep. Duane, any word on that?
Yeah, I think the culture's changed, so the whole scene is different. I think Al mentioned it. Just the way that people communicated, the whole thing about fanzines. I mean, fanzines are irrelevant today.
Yeah.
They've been replaced by Facebook or Instagram or some other form of communication. The fact that communication is so much easier, it's also changed, a lot of the look. I find the look is really a lot different now than it was back then. The whole idea of cut and paste was real cut and paste.
Yep.
People actually, the fact that people made their own T-shirts now, you don't even get that anymore. I mean, there's just so much of it that's gone.
Yeah. I mean, I feel, like Jamie, I mean, I think that, when we were living this incredibly vibrant time, of course, as a teenager, I certainly didn't have, perspective or, really the knowledge or musical knowledge, that this could be something like the Summer of Love or the jazz, something that would resonate many years later. But that said, having been a part of it, since pretty much the beginning in a lot of ways, it doesn't surprise me. The twisted irony of this life, nothing surprises me. When a band like the Beastie Boys, who I thought were just god awful, end up, as a hardcore band, end up selling millions of records. And I've seen so many bizarre, ironic things that, nothing surprises me. And I'm happy that sort of that early hardcore ethos still resonates for so many people. And it still means so much, man. I mean, and to this day, I still live my life with, many of those principles,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is, it's not to steal a line from Smalley, but brotherhood. There's this kind of, it's like if you were a bicycle messenger or you're a skateboarder, there's this certain camaraderie that cuts through all the different ages. That kind of connects people, even though they might have been born 3 generations earlier or 3 generations later.
Oh, I got a good one, Alec. Hold on. Here you go. Alec. Was Alec ever in a band?
Nope. Except I was drunk one night. Yes.
But I met you, didn't I? Do you remember how I think I met you when I brought my drum set over to your house?
That was it.
That was it. It
That
was
the
you, me, Adib,
and Rackman.
And Paul Rackman. We I think that's how I met you. I don't know how I got connected with it, but for some reason I brought a drum set over to your house and we just made noise.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was fun though.
Oh yeah. That's how I met you, man.
Yeah.
Drew, what about one of your standard questions for each guest? Any band out there they thought should have been bigger and vice versa? Jamie, anyone that you thought from that era that, wow, they should have been huge or, or vice versa?
I mean, it's all kind of relevant. I mean, back then, what did huge mean? It's like, no, I mean, I thought that, I'm trying to think if there was one band that I really loved and like nobody else seemed to get. Nobody I can think of off the top of my head.
Alec, anyone you worked? I kind of know the answer to this, Alec, with you. So I'm going to steer it that way. I know that you managed the band Clover, which was sort of like an all-star band that it seemed like the stars were going to line up, but it sort of didn't work out that way. Is that fair to say?
Well, I was the A&R guy that put the record together with producer Roy Z, and who
later worked with Downset.
Yes, that's how I met him, was through Downset.
Right.
Our record label had said, "Look, they're beating the fuck out of us out there. You know what? Where's my Stone Temple Pilots? Where's my Green Day? What the hell are you A&R people doing to me?" And I was like, "Dude, we're so cold. To be honest with you, any of these bands will not consider signing with us because we're so cold, and we're Bon Jovi's label." And he's like, "Well, do something." So I raised my hand and I said, "I think I can do something for you. I'll form a band and it'll have hits, and you can promote it like it's the next Green Day." And he's like, "Okay."
And who was in said band that you put together?
Chris was originally the singer and guitar player.
Chris Doherty from Gangrene.
Yeah, and they heard the demos and said, "What the fuck are you thinking?" And you had to get a different singer. And so we got this guy, Mike Stone from Roy Z, who's a really talented guy. He's now the guitar player of Queensryche.
Oh, yeah, of course. Mike Stone was the singer for Clover?
Yes. Yes.
That's funny.
And also
man.
in the band was Brian Betzger, the drummer from Jerry's Kids and Gangrene. And
wasn't didn't one of the brothers play, one of the Stipton brothers in that?
No.
No?
Oh, no, they were hating each other by then.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Well, that was interesting. Duane, anybody you could think of that you thought was maybe gonna?
My favorite Boston band was always Negative FX. I liked.
Oh yeah.
I just like the rawness of them, and that show I mentioned when they play with Double O and SSD, and that was just, it's still in my body.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. As far as what I saw, I don't know, man. Who was great back then? I thought Smegma and the Nuns were great, I loved them. We loved.
Yeah, I don't know why everybody hated them. A lot of
we loved Smegma and the Nuns. Man, they did "Beat Her with a Rake," the Weasel song. They were awesome. That was the singer for Smegma Nuns was in that other band.
Well, he was in a band before. What was?
I think they were on. What was the band that the singer for Smegma? What was Smegma in? Were they on the Boston Not LA record?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
What band was Smegma in before the Nuns? And that's your man, Alec Peters, Glenn from Gangrene. When Smegma used to play, he was wearing a Nuns leper. That's it, leper.
That's it, leper. Yeah,
leper.
That is right.
Yeah, that was Glenn Stipton, right?
Stilfen,
excuse me.
Yeah.
Hey, this just in, the infamous Misfits shot with Joe Sackout.
There you go.
There you go.
There's another one too, where he's up there at the mic singing.
Yeah,
that's the one Duane's talking about. But that's
I had that bass that Jerry's playing for a couple of years. I had that bass, that exact bass.
Yeah, that bass spent some time at World Headquarters, where Pat Raftery had it for a while too.
Really?
Yeah, I remember hanging on the wall. Remember that place they called World Headquarters, where all those guys lived? Smalley lived there, and Raftery lived there. I think maybe Socks and Grind.
Maybe there was a couple of them.
You mean that house in Brookline?
Yeah.
St. Mary's, like on Beacon Street.
I was gone by then, Jamie.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Yeah, I left early in the summer of '82, No, excuse me. Summer of '83.
Yeah.
When school finished, I think I left at the end of May in 1983. I moved back to New York.
I see.
You know, so all right. Well, hey, that certainly was fun, you guys. Great. You know, kind of walking down memory lane with you about this beloved venue. Alec, it's Shout Out Sunday.
Yeah.
Anybody you want to shout out or thank?
Tell these dogs to shut up.
Shut up. Anybody, Alec?
Roy Lozano, my buddy. Roy
Yeah.
and I are now managing a really awesome artist from Los Angeles called Ray Garrison, and we're really excited about it. He's awesome. Total rocker.
Cool. Yeah, got to shout out. I'm going to shout out Roy from Downset, and while we're at it, going to shout out Fryette Amplification, which is Zum's affiliated with them, and Roy is a big player of the Fryette gear. So, all right, Alec, I will see you in Florida a week from Thursday at the world premiere of my film.
Great.
All right, take care.
All right.
See you, Alec.
Take
Jamie,
care.
anybody you want to shout out, thank anybody?
Yeah, I'll shout out Bowie and Wolfie Veneman, my two buddies out in LA. I guess that's it.
Wait, is that Ted's kids?
Yeah, Ted's kids. Yeah,
He has, he has two kids?
He has two kids, Bowie and Wolfie. Yeah, they're awesome, man. Greatest little kids ever.
That's your dude,
Big
man.
fans of the show, by the way. They Bowie watches your show up frequently.
Well, if he's watching it,
He's on two, but he likes only the ones that I'm on.
Right. There you go. Well, Bowie and Wolfie and Ted, thank you for watching the show. I really appreciate it. Jamie, always a pleasure, and thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
All right,
Say hi to Angie for me.
We'll do. Later.
Take it easy.
Well, there you go, Duane.
Here we are.
Cool. That was cool. You know, all these.
So we got to give a shout out to Springer because his name's hardly come up today, which is kind of strange because how can you talk about Boston hardcore without Springer?
Listen, Springer's still the character he ever was.
And Chris Foley and Al Baril. I mean, for me, that was, that band started the whole deal rolling.
That band changed my life. I wouldn't be sitting here right now if it wasn't for that band. Not afraid to give credit where credit's due. SSD Control changed the course of my life. That was the first hardcore show I ever saw. And, got to give credit where credit's due. Yeah, Al Baril, the best aspect of the show, no Springer. Oh, Al, you're the best, bro.
2024, Al.
Yeah, 2024, bro. 2024, Al. And listen, you're going to need a good Jewish manager. You're going to need a Hebe at the helm, brother. So I'm available. Imagine dealing with that crew. Good Lord. Whew. It's like Hall and Oates. Like, you think Hall and Oates like each other? They hate each other's guts. It's like SSD Control 2024. Like Al comes on one side of the stage, Springer comes on from the other side of the stage. They have no interaction whatsoever.
Something tells me it would be like that they wouldn't miss a beat. A little bit older, but not missing a beat. After seeing Springer at the Paradise, he's still got it in him. There
you go. Anybody else you want to shout out?
No. My daughter, my son.
Okay,
family.
Cool. Well, it's been fun, old friend. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Drew. Take care. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week.
Take care. Well, there you have it. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Our guest today, Duane Lucia from Gallery East, Jamie Sharappa from SSD Control, and actually later Slapshot, and Alec Peters, promoter, producer. Great show. Thanks. Yeah, fun show with some old friends. Want to remind everybody. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, But if you are down in the Southern Florida area, a week from Thursday, my new film is screening, and I am doing a Q&A with my father and my brother. So please come on down. It's screening Thursday, Thursday, March 10th at 3:15. It's an afternoon screening. So yes, Neutron Bomb. It was some great. A great show. I want to thank Angela Orengio and her husband Ed for being so kind as to send me those photos and trusted me with them. And I'm very excited that their stuff is getting out there. And yeah, I know the pictures alone were fire, right? Unbelievable, you know. Al Mitchell, yo, what's up, Alex? Shouting out Circus of Power. Aren't you guys playing soon, Al? Aren't you guys doing? Isn't some Circus of Power stuff happening? We got to get you. Got to get you back to the East Coast, Al. You know, Al Mitchell, love that band, Circus of Power. Yes, Ed and his wife are good people. Glad to have you back in the hardcore scene again. Ed and Angela. Whiskey in May. That's right. I saw that. Everybody on the West Coast, Circus of Power is playing the Whiskey in May. Always a great show, Circus of Power. Yes, Delray Beach, home of Arnie Stone. Future home of Drew Stone. Roy Ramon says, those photos made me nostalgic for a time I wasn't alive for and a place I've never been to. Great show. Listen, these are the good times, Roy. You know, these are the good times. You know, a lot of people get caught up in the past, and you know, I'm firmly entrenched in the present and looking towards the future. These are the good times. Let's make these great, man. Yes, Ed. Welcome back, buddy. And let's talk in the next couple of days about collaborating, about a collaboration. I got an idea. So that said. Yeah, Gary. Yes, Gary. The film is screening in Delray Beach. So look for it. I'm really flattered, Al. Never miss a show. Your show is that means a lot, Alex Mitchell, because you know your band, Circus of Power, and you as a front man were a great influence on me, and I really appreciate that. You guys were on top of the heap in a really vibrant and exciting time in music in New York City. You know, to me, you guys were the top of the heap. All those bands, you know, the Raging Slabs and the Smash Gladdies and the Throbs and the Warrior Souls. To me, Circus of Power was the top dog, man. And I saw you guys play many times in those days. Back then, when you played New York like 3, 4, 5 times a week. Remember that? God, you play so much. And yes, of course, the Boston scene had so many great bands. Hey, Michael Burns down there in Tampa. Hey, feel free, man. Come down to my screening. Come say hello to me face to face. That would mean a lot. You know, I need my Florida people to support me, you know? So, you know. Yes, Slapshot is still playing. I see the Choke is out there. You know, I have a lot of respect for Choke. You know, he's still in the game. He's still working hard, man. You know, he's in good physical shape, you know. Not for nothing, but my ex moved down there. No offense. Hey, listen, I need some bodies in the theater, bro. Tell her to come to the screening. You know, that said, did we mention who's next? Oh, Creature from Rebelmatic is next on Wednesday. And then Jake from the Casualties on Sunday. And then I go down to Florida for the screening. So that said, I want to thank everybody. It was a really enjoyable show with some old friends. Until next time, do good things, and good things will come to you.